Welcome, everyone. Suffolk Conservation Commission meeting Monday, November 4th, 2024, 7 p.m. We're in hybrid at Suffolk Town Hall. Tonight with us, we'll go around the table. Andy Reardon, Chris Pratt,
Norm Cheever,
Kevin Solar.
Dennis Clark.
Jerry Patriot.
and welcome. All right. We'll start off with public comment. Does anyone have public comments? Anyone on Zoom have public comments?
It's basically just
I
Norm.
don't see anybody else down there, as I say. That's not a bad thing sometimes. Okay. Well, why don't we get our minutes out of the way then? We have a little bit of time. Get the minutes of October 21st.
Kennedy Road, public hearing, the fourth line, the owner of the property, the word of needs to be inserted.
Fourth line.
On the next page, Meeting Hills Road, the first line, Chairman Pratt opened a public, a continued, I think one of the A's needs to go. Oh, Chris Pratt opened a public continued hearing.
Yeah.
Second, A needs to
I
go.
like that.
And then the description of the 4 days of observation is not fluid. On the fourth line. Probably there was 4 days or were 4 days observed.
We're 4 days.
So there were 4 days observed of no flowing water. It's not that there should be no water in the stream, but there should be no flowing water. Because you can have puddles, as long as
Right.
you're not flowing one to the next.
Correct.
Further down under the vote on that, the line stream, approved stream is intermittent delineation of the stream pending on field notes. I don't quite comprehend what that meant. I think I put it back.
Well, we do because we were here.
Right. Right, but 5 years from now, someone's gonna read
Right.
that. Stream was proved to be intermittent.
The stream was approved. All right, get rid of the second stream. Determined to be intermittent.
Determined to be intermittent based on the field notes.
No, there weren't field notes, so pending field notes is
Oh, okay.
correct
Oh, then
We wanted
you're
them-
supposed to write them up.
for formality, right? Possible approach to master plan open space action item 10.1. Vice Chair Norm Cheever presented the potential resolution of open space resource 1.1. That's kind of unclear there too,
Open space.
or open space. It says or.
Open space action item 1.1.
For resolution for open space, is it resolution for the open space or of the open space? Create and disturb a pamphlet.
distribute.
Very last line of that, regulations on how to treat the lake. New business, a proposed amendment to local permitting program. There's no update on that, but what does Police Harbor Master Diane Gale? Is there no update from those people or are those two separate?
The actions in there for,
Pardon me?
the actions in there for,
Okay, so there's no update from them.
we have not gotten an update from the state or from them.
Okay. All right, so the no
But from-
updates, yeah, from the
From the
police
big
and harbor
sample put in
master.
there.
Okay. And the next one after that, the report from Suffield to provide.
Scratch to provide and say no update. And the next one, report from the Suffield Concom meetings. The only thing that was the request for the retaining wall at 261 North Lake Road was withdrawn.
Two 61 what?
Was withdrawn.
No, what's the address?
North Lake, I think it's road.
So what needs to happen for police slash harbor master Diane Gale?
From,
No
No
update
update
from,
from.
oh, I get it now.
just to make a complete sentence. Take a motion, everybody's ready.
Motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Okay. Approved and seconded.
Andy, I.
Chris, I.
Norm, I.
Kevin, I. Kevin, sorry.
Terry, I.
Okay. We will now move on to our 75 thereafter NOI, Tannery Road. Yeah,
On the side, no, in the signing folder.
There's no news, it was already open.
That's right.
Was he here? And Matt wasn't here in the last meeting. Oh, you guys already voted. No, we didn't. And GPC.
Yeah, right. We talked about it, though. We just never go. We can bring it up for
I
discussion.
wasn't here. Can I sign this?
No, not yet. We're gonna talk about that, maybe, make an amendment to that.
Okay.
That's okay.
Did you sign in red?
It's just an extra bonus.
I signed last week's for you. So it squares up.
Oh, that reminds me. Who do I
Maybe you like
need?
it, so I signed
I
it.
need someone from Lawrence. And then that. Very. This is for Lawrence. Negative determination. It's like when you're saying,
We approved it, we just didn't sign, didn't get all the signatures.
yes.
Anybody else?
Jerry.
No.
Oh,
I was not here for that.
where did it come?
Page number.
Paper. Now it's, good thing I remember.
All for you.
What? You already read the legal notice in the last meeting, which continued.
Second.
All right,
Okay, we have our Henry Road, proposed construction of single family dwelling with associated site improvements. Portions of proposed work are within the buffer zone.
Hello, everyone. Ryan Nelson from Arlevec Associates.
Right.
Screen sharing is not enabled, but if those remember from the site visit and last meeting, there's been no changes since. This is a proposed single family home in the buffer zone. Mostly, sorry, all of the septic and almost the entirety of the house will be in the buffer zone. We are adhering to the 50-foot no-touch buffer zone. A lot of the site is already cleared. There'd just be some clearing along the back, along that 50-foot buffer zone, as well as some pine trees out front that are beyond the buffer zone. Like I said, no other changes since we last met.
and you should be able to share. Can you try again?
Yep, there we go.
Okay. You can open paper map.
Did go on a site visit, Chris.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed it.
At the site visit, we did discuss the potential of applying for a variance. Because the house next door is 50 feet from the road. And if they got the variance, they could have a backyard
Right.
somewhat. Did anybody look into that, Ryan?
We have not applied for anything yet. The septic can't really change, so we wouldn't be able to move the disturbance away from the buffer zone, but like you said, it would give them more of a yard area behind the house. But the circumstance of a prospective buyer, one of their conditions is this conservation permitting getting approved. So this is the first item, but we can certainly ask ZBA.
What was the wetland like down there? Was it disturbed before or is it new wetland or?
No, it's
It was created by Zelinski Brothers when they made the development where Concord Road is.
You just have to say your name and address just for the record.
Chester Soborski, 8 Concord Road.
Thank you.
And, that swale where the wetland exists now was created by Zelinski's when they were building the subdivision.
Okay,
And it has not been disturbed in any way since they created it in the 70s.
We discussed, putting up some kind of monument or barriers to
right.
prevent that from turning into a lawn, which it easily could if it's not,
Yeah, it looks fairly flat, actually.
And it's very like. You wouldn't think it's in the buffer, it almost looks like the yard now, so.
Right.
the question would be if the variance was issued, that the house would move further away from the buffer zone?
Potentially, I don't know how much. Like I said, we had a variance request for a property, I think it was 194 Hillside Road a couple years ago, but that was a pre-existing grandfathered lot. And I want to say they only gave us like 10 or 15 extra feet. So, but I'm not sure no guarantees this would qualify as it is a newly created lot. I mean, the hardship is subjective, but
Never any guarantees with the ZBA,
right.
but the question is if the commission wanted to approve it as is and they could go back later on to try to do that.
Right.
Or if the commission wanted to hold out and wait to find out if it could be moved.
I mean, is there a reason to not let it go now? I mean,
Well, the house as it is now, all of it's in the 100-foot buffer.
right,
If anything, any variance they get improves the condition of less construction in the buffer zone.
Feel like it's somewhat reasonable that. To expect someone living there to extend that 5 feet from the corner of the house to the 50 foot. It's. I can't
Well, you would
imagine
think somebody
someone
would want to.
living there and not
right.
wanting a little more room to push a wheelbarrow around the back corner of their house even.
As far as the work and disturbance goes, it's a fairly flat parcel. It's like, it doesn't look like there'd be a ton of erosion into the wet area.
So even if the ZBA gave you 10 or 15 feet, that would open up that corner and make it more of a
Right.
livable space.
To question Andy, so we want to hold up the project until they go to the ZBA. You want to approve it
The
and
buyer is
take the chance.
contingent upon approval as it is. I mean, we can approve it as is and come back so they can create more yard. You think that might be what they'd want to do? But is it a reason to hold up their project and their sale?
Sabrina, were there still issues about the violation in the back of the wetlands? Is that gonna be part of this, or is that a separate issue?
It's up to you guys.
It is. It could be the condition that that area would be. They've been disturbed, it would be not disturbed and revegetated, or however you want to.
So that's on a separate lot.
Well, that's why I'm
That's why I'm
hesitating.
asking about
So it's not a condition of
I'm
this.
not sure if this is on a separate
So it would have to be separate, we have to keep that,
separate map or parcel
Right.
number as is right now.
keep that separate from this issue, then.
I would, in my opinion, keep that separate.
I guess in the end, it's okay like that. It'd be awesome if CBA would give them 10 or 15 feet so that even the buyer could enjoy some space behind their house.
Can I say something? The, Chet Soborski, 8 Concord Road. The buyer is amiable to anything that is required, and I would assume that he would file the paperwork to see if he could move it forward, if you guys approved the building of the house.
Would that be in the order of conditions that they would, not that they would need approval, but they would need to go
Ask for approval.
ask for approval, request it?
Oh,
Suppose
You don't-
anything can be written in.
No, but you don't think that makes it messy? Wouldn't it just be more streamlined for them to go to the Board of Appeals and ask for that before this gets approved? Because if this gets approved, then they can just build the house as is. But if you guys really want them to.
Well,
see
like
if they
I'm
can
saying,
make
I
that
don't see
variance.
a reason to not build it as is, although it would be more optimal if they didn't.
Well, the reason to not would be, you would think that it would be easier for encroachment within the 50-foot, which is. In Southwick, you don't want disturbance within the
Correct,
50
but
foot.
even if they do move it 25 feet. Chances are flat land,
Mhm.
they're gonna start mowing, they're gonna encroach on it. Not that I'm saying it's okay, I'm saying it's probably gonna happen anyway.
Well, I would think it more than likely would happen as it is now, because it's so close it's so close.
Mm.
And I don't know what type of monumentation you guys would want to symbolize the no disturbed area.
We talked about boulders while we were out there.
Yes, we did.
I think, yes, I
Maybe we
think,
could double up on the boulders.
Talked about getting it on the deeds as well, right? So that people know, like the third purchaser of this property is gonna have no idea that what those boulders are for. They're just rocks in my backyard. Devin's property has signs, I think they're kind of aggressively large. But there's an actual, like a street sign that says, behind here is, this is what it is.
You could have that as an ongoing condition,
Right,
even after it's signed off on the certificate of compliance.
so a new owner has a fair warning, like, it's here.
Yeah.
I mean, as it's planned, it seems like we're gonna let it go as it's planned, but it'd be great if they go to ZBA to see if they could get 10 or 15 feet. So they would come back with an as-built plan 10 feet forward. Or this plan would stick.
Yeah, they could do a modification and it's less impact, so that
Right.
could be done without having to refile.
Right.
What about like an enhanced buffer zone? Right? And then
What's that?
an enhanced buffer, like, zone, like,
Enhanced buffer, yeah.
like the 50, because it's so
Mhm.
open right now.
Mm,
I do think,
plants and stuff in the buffer where it's grass area now.
yeah, Chester, did you
That's it.
say that, sorry, did you say that there was bittersweet, a lot of bittersweet over in that area that you had to cut out because they're choking down the trees?
Yeah.
So there is invasives within the 50-foot, maybe removal of hand pulling of some invasive species and then plantings of natives. Is a buffer enhancement.
Yeah, I think we're, all those conditions, we should be able to close this.
Make a motion if anybody's ready.
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Okay. Ian,
Andy, I.
Chris, I,
Norm, I.
Devin, I.
Dennis, I.
Jerry, I.
motion on the project.
For a motion to approve the project with conditions. With the boulders, enhanced buffer zone. Removal of invasives.
For increased visibility too, right? You're saying something about signs and such. So it's obvious.
Well, it seems like something we need to discuss. Like, do we want to go with some sort of
Do like the
small?
plaques that Kevin's got.
Yeah,
If you wanna have
his were
those.
kind of big. They were like this. You'd put them on the side of the road and see him going by in your car. Kind of aggressively big for, walking in the woods.
You could have,
Habitat.
epoxy the sign right to the rock.
You could,
His were like most like a. speed
That's
limit
what I
sign.
like, the idea of a placard on a boulder.
Yeah,
That's what I
Yeah.
like the best.
So then they
It's
can't
not-
move it.
yeah, it's permanent
Do we have a precedent on that? Have we ever done that before?
no,
placard on boulders.
Yeah, just something with signage on it. So
I
maybe,
like it.
maybe this is establishing sort of a precedent.
They did some at the, at the Greens, didn't he propose doing some, not that we requested, but rather than boulders, he had got some signs, on
Signs.
some of the
Yeah.
lots there.
Oh, okay.
We've done bird houses before. and
Yeah.
Well, we can make suggestions then.
They used to do rebar pipes. That's not.
Yeah.
Silver pipes?
Silver pipes, has a cap on it, so.
Yeah,
I mean, those are pretty discreet, yeah.
but they get grown over and it's really hard to see those.
Mhm.
I like the idea of the
I didn't
plaque on the
notice them for
boulder.
2 months.
I think it's like, it's there, but it's not like,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
It's not ugly,
it's more that, like, yeah.
Aesthetically
Yeah,
pleasing, yeah.
exactly.
somebody's yard.
You
I
would
like
need a
the-
plaque on every boulder, just, you know.
Right, want them to mark that this line of boulders is
And
in
you think the $10,000 bond would be sufficient? So
I think so.
I think so.
we have a motion on the table and.
You're making the motion right now, and this is all going in it.
You got
Said
it,
there's
they
nothing
ask
else to
ZBA,
add to it.
they're gonna go to ZBA and ask for 10 or 15 feet at least to give that extra buffer in the back.
Is that one of the conditions?
Well,
We're-
we're asking if you wanna make it one.
Well, yeah, Sabrina said it would make it not a clean,
Yeah,
I mean, if,
I
if,
follow
if
that,
you're,
yeah.
if you're, if you want them to come back, if they do get the variance. And if you want them to come back with an amendment, that probably could clean it up just
Yeah.
fine.
that would.
But there's just no
easier.
no
easier.
guarantee that,
The CBA is gonna give it to them.
exactly.
Right.
Right. But approving it tonight allows them to move forward with the transaction.
Either
and
way,
then they
Put
can
that
do
in there
CBA
too,
too.
yeah.
Right,
That's actually a good idea.
Get everything done at once.
Yeah.
right.
Well, the ZBA is just a recommendation from us, correct?
Well, we're,
Pretty much, I mean, they're gonna ask,
they have to ask.
they have to go ask, but it doesn't have to be approved
Yep.
in order for this to go through.
Okay.
I think we got it all.
Okay, so that's your motion.
It's a motion.
I'll second it.
Andy, aye.
Table, Chris, I,
No,
Kevin, I.
Dennis, I.
Jerry, I.
all right.
The plaques on the boulders, what do you want them to say?
What's in yours?
This is the 100-foot buffer
No
zone.
touch beyond this point,
Don't,
wetland area.
do not disturb beyond this
Right
point.
there.
Wetland, yeah, I don't
He's
know,
gonna
I was,
put-
whatever
Do
the
not-
sign said.
Do not disturb.
Do not
yeah.
disturb beyond this point
Yeah,
or something.
wetland area, do not disturb.
That's a good one.
And like you said, it's like chapter, whatever, the whole.
Yeah, you could put something official on there.
Penalty.
Right. Keep out.
Probably the one closest to the house, I would think would be the most appropriate.
And you guys will be looking for the same that we did, which is like 50, every 50 feet.
That's gonna be probably twice as close.
25 feet.
So every
25
25
feet.
And size of the boulder?
Big,
Big
As
boulders,
big as you can get,
boulder size boulders, I mean,
Okay.
something that somebody can't walk
Yeah,
on.
exactly,
yeah.
right.
Something you gotta set with the back.
We'll let you know if it's big enough when we go there.
Yeah, so they can't walk up with that. sign.
Exactly, we don't want people rolling them down the hill or rolling, you know,
Yeah, rolling them down into the wetland.
right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, moving on to new business. 24 and 26 Nicholson Hill Road,
Thank you.
thank you, have a nice night.
Yeah.
Review possible amendments,
We've got Jeff here.
yep. You can
Grab yourself
bring a
chair.
chair in up to the table. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Like boulders.
I was a little confused at the last meeting. I didn't realize this is done under just Southwick bylaws.
South of
Yes, only South Lake bylaw
Oh,
because
so-
these are isolated wetlands that we're dealing with.
plan. Steve said he passed it
All right.
down to Dennis, sorry.
Mhm.
I don't know if you got time to upload it or not.
Yes, I got the first email from Mr. Salvini and then the second email
Yeah.
with this document. I did get, so I'm gonna try to put it up.
You can open it if you want. Sure. Why not? So. At the beach, putting the towel down.
the initial NOI was like last year, and the delineation came up to here. The house was gonna be down on the slope with a lot of cut and fill. We looked at the delineation and revised it. We kept the bottom delineation as it was. And this, because of this, we were able to pull the house back up onto the kind of the crown of the hill a little bit, where it was leveler. We're also gonna move the septic system down slope so that it can be gravity fed. So this is where it was located. We haven't, perks have not been done yet.
Okay,
Then we'll know more about where the septic is gonna be put. So. A whole new NOI for this isn't gonna do anything to improve the resource protection on this. We're gonna. If we do a new NOI, we're gonna just basically be submitting the same plan.
Yeah.
The same erosion control, everything. So we're just trying to streamline it and move it forward and save everybody time and.
no, I think the only thing I wanted to see was where the wetlands were down at the
Yep,
bottom.
and I went and I looked at them and I
Yeah.
agreed with them and they're still flagged,
Okay,
so, they look good.
Mhm.
And I wanted to see where the new septic system was gonna be
Yeah.
located.
We're good, that will be, it's completely outside of the 100-foot buffer. So there should be, it won't be located within the buffer zone, and so, but we can come back with a. Later on, when we know exactly where it is, we'll have a plan that shows exactly where it is and where the perks were done. But they have not
Okay.
been redone yet. So I guess there's two things. One, we're looking to see if we can just amend this local NOI and move forward with the plan. Then after that, see what you think about the plan as it stands.
So the delineation should live with the notice of intent. My opinion is close the current notice of intent and file a new notice of intent. This is local. I think it's up to you guys, but that's my 2 cents in this. I think it should be a different notice of intent.
Yeah, I would agree. If this was a situation where we were gonna increase the footprint and possibly increase the impact, increase the amount of work that's in the buffer zone, but we're doing the opposite. We're reducing the impact, we're reducing the footprint, we're reducing the amount of cut and fill.
You're just concerned about the new wetland delineation, correct? Is that what,
The process, yeah.
so you could theoretically submit a request for determination just for the wetland and satisfy that? There is a, on that
A
form, there is a
request for determination
for wetland
for the
delineation.
wetland delineation. But then the wetland delineation that lives right now with this notice of intent still lives, so you would have 2 different delineations at the same time. So, but this is a local order of conditions because of our local bylaw, isolated wetlands are protected. They're not protected. They don't have the same protections under the Wetlands Protection Act. So this is,
so are we changing the delineation or we're just
Yes.
adding on to
the delineation would be, this is a new delineation as opposed to the
the
approved one.
upper is
Also,
paved?
yeah.
Yeah, the lower one is the same.
Okay, oh, so this is from last year. That's not what we already talked about this year then, where we walked out. and-
We walked out here
Right.
and we walked through here, and this is where I said that it had been delineated as wetland, but it didn't meet the
You pushed it
criteria.
back.
And this is where I
Okay, so
flagged
this
it,
is what we
following the
discussed
swale down the edge of
previously.
the woods line. Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, this is the new, this is all the new current stuff. 'Cause I
Yeah.
remember the old one extended up and the corner of the
This
garage
is-
was in the way and everything
Yeah.
else.
yeah.
This is the old one right here. And so, yeah, this is the old delineation. And compare that to the new one,
Yeah,
Which
Steve has the
is-
old boundary shown on the plan here.
boom.
Jeff, is it that big a deal to do a new notice of intent just for local bylaw? Does it have to go through the state? Does it have to? Do we have to do the butters again? Is that part of it?
The butters would definitely, it's a whole new.
It'll be the same process.
Have we ever amended an NOI before? And let it pass?
You know, I'm aware of, I think that you like in 55 Foster. That's why we did the new NOI over there as well.
Yeah, I
We
understand.
have amended them. If it's less impact, you can amend it. If it's less impact on the resource area.
Can you?
We have, yeah, and it is part of the,
What was it?
Regulations.
13 North Pond. That was the latest amendment, I think, that happened last year. It's 13?
we have done it. It's just that Sabrina's concerned that we'll have the delineation. Even if it's amended, the delineation would
Be
still
different.
stand.
It would be different.
You could we just amend the delineation?
The delineation's only gonna stand for 2 more years. So, then it's
Yeah, it's a
out.
3-year.
Right. It's not filed like is it filed with the registry of deeds?
The order of conditions,
It is?
Yep.
Okay.
it should be. You guys filed it, right? You recorded the order of conditions?
I don't know what the lawyers do.
I tried to look it up and I did not find an order of conditions on this. So I assumed that because it was a local jurisdiction, that it didn't need to be.
So there must have been
Yeah,
a,
there was a,
was it approved?
yeah. But it was ridiculous when they put the house. I would have had a 30-foot foundation wall.
What is this? This is 24, I don't have the 24, 26 down
For
there.
a lot of Phil.
Yeah, yeah, but then they put it right here. That's where the house was put. Stupid.
It's shown here.
I can't tell you right now if it was recorded at the registry of deeds, but that is the process.
If it's a
It should
state,
have been
yeah.
recorded at the registry of deeds.
Right.
The same
Following the
as,
state regulation.
yeah, it's the same.
I wouldn't be opposed to bending it if there's some way we could do it. It wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, like you say, it's less impact.
I agree with that.
Right, that's the, yeah.
Plan a more streamlined process either. Right. However. You can't change the process that.
So with amending the order of conditions. The plan reference, I assume we would change the plan reference to the updated one, and that would be the amendment. And then it would get recorded at the registry of deeds.
And it would have all the new delineation on it.
Well, yeah, this
Yeah.
one, yeah,
So
because they don't file the plan. They just file the order of conditions.
right. So we could do that.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have the delineation.
Well, it would
File it
prefer,
right
it
now.
refers back to the
To
plan
the
itself, yeah.
accepted plan, one that we.
That
approved,
we have on file in our room.
Which
in our
would be
office.
changed to this. If we amend it.
Yeah, especially if it hasn't been reported.
It may have been, I don't have that file with me yet.
I didn't see it today when I looked it up. I only saw deeds. Under Luke's name, so. And I didn't see anything from Nicholson name. So,
Who recorded it?
Him and
where-
Carla Vec or you guys. I mean, it's up to the owner to make sure it's recorded.
You don't check that.
Well, that could have done it, but they would have charged for it.
Yeah.
and that's how Steve does it sometimes.
Would the-
He'll
would the
record it
date-
and charge.
With the date on the
Yeah.
report,
Doing it, yes.
So I checked to see if
with the
it's been
date on the report,
recorded.
eliminate, like, if you were to say we're gonna go with this new delineation as of this date, today's date, and you have an older one that you're saying is still alive, wouldn't the new one
Take its place.
Superseded.
supersede,
Replace the
yeah,
old one automatically because
yeah, it should, if you're, yeah,
Right.
amended, yeah.
under an amendment.
Yeah,
So that
I'd be
becomes null
willing
and
to,
void and this is it now, you know.
I'd be willing to make a motion.
Can it be done?
to an amendment.
Will that just automatically
Well-
do it?
What's the
We
question?
said it's been done before,
Right.
so
I mean-
apparently it can be
The
done.
question is because that they're proposing a new delineation as of this date with a date, because the old one has a date and this
Mhm.
one's gonna have a date. So because this is a later date, today's date versus the older date, doesn't that eliminate the older date because there's a newer date? With a whole new plan and everything
So-
else?
We have, for example, so here's an order of conditions that you guys are gonna sign later. There's two things you can check, order of conditions or amended order of conditions.
Okay.
So in this case, if it's amended, we would check off the amended order of conditions.
Today. We would do that today.
Not, well, I'd
Well,
have
not
to write
this
it up.
instant, But yeah,
Yeah.
And then,
Put the new plan
yeah,
Right,
the
it would have
plan-
a date.
in there as a
the
delineation.
plan that you need to refer to is on a separate page. Somewhere. And then we would change that to this updated plan. That, where,
Just a question of which one gets recorded. You know, if you look at the old one, you don't know about the new one.
Well, the new one should get
New one
recorded.
would be superseding, I think.
Is there anything on the old one that you can't change anything on the old one once it's been recorded, right? You can't even
I
touch it.
think anything that comes in new replaces what has been before.
That would be good. That was basically what I was getting at.
Yeah,
it eliminates the old
If
one.
it
because we have a
supersedes
new
it,
one. Yeah.
Then someone takes the new one, staples it to the old one.
And make it clear in our notes here that that's
Right.
what happened.
right.
Sign the new
That might be a
plan,
way to do it.
sign the new plan dated today. Received, approved.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
so can we do that?
why not? Why not?
With what?
I'd make a motion if you're looking for one.
Sure, I'll take a motion, Dennis.
Say your motion to do an amended.
I'll second it.
So you're
Okay.
approving, well,
Approving an amendment to talk about the new delineation.
And the relocation,
but the septic isn't even,
they're gonna
Oh.
come in with a plan for that.
Well, we're gonna accept the septic outside. If they
Yeah.
change that, that's their problem.
Yeah,
Because, you know,
Right.
to
That
talk
would-
to Steve and that's,
Yeah.
if they say it's
That's
gonna be there,
outside.
it's gonna be there.
That's outside jurisdiction.
I mean, already the approved septic that was on the old pen, that's outside the 100 anyways, as of right now, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
is-
where it's gonna go here.
But I'm saying the good perk that they already have, not that they wanna put it there, but I'm saying that other one is
Like-
outside the
Yeah.
100.
don't,
Yeah,
don't
just
know
correct.
where it's everything. Like, I haven't even looked at this plan, is it even, like, I think what they wanted to know is how should they move forward? Get the septic, put it on the plan, and then bring it in.
I made a motion
So we
to,
cut this down, we really can't touch, perk for it septic.
I'm sorry,
We can't dig for the septic to perk test it, until
why,
we cut it down.
cut what down?
We're gonna bring the ground down a little bit, like, come down go like this, we'll make a plateau on it.
I'm saying there's a mound.
He's
There's a
gonna
mound up
grade
there.
this out to be flatter.
outside
We
of
talked about
jurisdiction
that
area.
earlier.
Is that outside of
Yes,
it
Concom
is, yeah.
jurisdiction, to put up some silt fences
This is
and do
the
that?
100 foot. Right, when they go to do that, there would be silt fence put in down here and along here, kind of continuing what's here and wrap it around there.
Right,
Okay, so there's a
it used
motion
to
on
be
the
the
table.
left of the driveway, it's gonna go to the right of the driveway.
Yes,
And there's
Yeah, motion
there's a
and
bit
a
of a
second.
slope there.
Motion and Kevin seconded.
Yep, Kevin seconded.
Correct.
Andy?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Kevin, I.
Dennis, I.
Jerry, I.
Okay, so we're good with an amendment. And we can move forward with your plan, come back.
okay, so,
So I'm writing.
Yeah,
an
We're not
amended-
gonna make you do another NOI.
right. So can this be approved tonight so that we can start moving forward on this, or you need to see the septic?
Well,
Oh,
you got the
Can't
septic.
show 'em.
Well, there's no,
Right, it's
it's
outside,
not on the plan,
right,
and there's no.
Yeah.
Erosion control on the plan.
There's
so
no
we can't
septic
accept
on the
this
plan.
As is, I don't think.
All we would care about is erosion control, I think.
Yeah, I think that's all we need to see is the erosion control.
And could,
She said there would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when the, if the septic changes from where the location's shown on the plan, if it does change, once they start, that could just show up on an as-built, right? Correct, as long as it's out of the 100-foot buffer, it doesn't have to necessarily be on the plan right now, things can change. Just as long as it's out of the 100, out of our jurisdiction, if it
Correct.
shows up on the as-built, they don't even really have to ask us to
No,
move it,
no.
just,
If
it's
it's
where
outside
it's
the
good,
jurisdiction,
good
yeah.
now.
it's approved where it is now. If
Right.
they decide they're gonna put it someplace else that's in our jurisdiction.
Then it would be an
then you
issue,
gotta come
but
back.
if it's outside of our
Because it's out of
jurisdiction,
100.
it
Our
It's out of
shouldn't
100.
even matter, they
We
can just
don't-
show up on the as-built.
Yeah.
And
When
my,
they come in for the certificate. of
right,
compliance,
I mean, that's what I think.
okay.
So, can you just clarify what you made a motion on?
To approve amended notice of intent,
So we're approving this plan.
yes.
Well,
I'm
we didn't
making a
approve the plan yet, we approved to have it, to accept an amended notice of
But
intent
wouldn't,
instead of a
why wouldn't,
refile.
why wouldn't you?
We can,
Okay,
we didn't make the motion yet.
Oh.
Okay,
we
so-
didn't.
No.
all right, so you were approving,
The
A
first one was
process.
to approve the process, to approve an amendment to the NOI.
Correct.
okay. Okay,
Right.
thank you for
So
clarifying.
accept the amendment. Now you're looking for. a
Now we're
motion
looking
to-
for a motion on
to
the
approve the
plan
plan.
as proposed, the new amended NOI.
I'll make the motion to approve the
I'll
plans.
second the motion.
Okay, we'll go around the table.
Andy, I.
Not I.
Chris, I,
Norm, I.
Jeff and I.
Dennis, I.
Jerry, I.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in again, again.
No work can start until pre-construction site, until I write this up, it gets signed, pre-construction site visit bond. Right, there was a bond to this.
Yeah, no,
I'm not sure if that was
Erosion
posted
control.
yet. Erosion controls are up.
any monuments?
Was there a bond already posted for this?
I can't remember.
Okay, so you're gonna check on that?
Yeah,
Whatever the conditions were.
Is it, yeah, the order of conditions are gonna transfer as they are, right? I mean, that's, so that's.
Including the bond, I would
Yeah,
say.
the order of conditions.
If it
Stays
said
the
monuments,
same.
we're gonna
See
carry over.
what,
Exactly.
That's what it is.
yeah, I don't know if that
So,
was.
yeah, it doesn't null and void the order of conditions.
No.
I don't even think we did, we didn't even, we need to do a pre-construction site visit as well. So, yeah,
We'll need to do that.
yeah,
Sure.
So the order of condition stands, it's just that the notice of intent has been modified.
Right.
So we will let you know prior to construction, or do you want to schedule a site visit now and go look at it? It's,
Before
are
the
the
snow.
erosion controls up, or?
no, the
So-
erosion control.
It's not being built when-
Bond posted erosion control up, then call us up.
Bond post erosion control,
Okay.
order,
Call for
the amended order, like, I still have to write up the amended order of conditions, and these
Very
guys
good,
need to
yeah.
sign it, so it's gonna be at least a couple weeks.
Okay,
Right.
sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Before the
this
snow.
is yours
yeah,
and
you never know. It's new one.
these are three
week.
additional, because it says
For the
three
file.
plans. for
Oh,
files.
So we should stamp and sign that plan for tonight's date to make sure we know that.
Where this stand?
We'll stamp it with a smiley face and have everyone sign it approved this date. We don't have an
You
approved
don't have
stamp.
the received stamp.
Declaration of Independence right there.
Yeah,
No, if we were upstairs, I could just go into my
Yeah, right.
office and,
I think this may,
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Give me the carte blanche.
approved,
put a
on,
date.
and then this date.
Fourth, I think.
Hmm?
What is it all you the bonding one?
Wasn't it 10K?
I think I do have it on. Do.
That's the typical one. I think.
Oopsie, special order, something special order conditions. So this one, I put it-
While you're there,
it was 10,000,
what were the other orders, conditions? While you're there, if you're looking at.
yeah. So it was standard order of conditions, special conditions, $10,000 bond.
Okay.
And then we do the reserve the right to fine $300 for our local bylaw.
Okay.
Monuments in the form of boulders shall be placed on the 50-foot buffer line to act as limit of lawn area to remain in place as an ongoing condition. Approximately 8 boulders in total in conjunction with the retaining wall. The retaining wall is now gone.
Okay.
So that would need to be modified as well. And then buffer project only, no
Okay, so-
resource areas.
Now we have a modification of orders of condition.
Oh,
The
not,
special
the plan's been modified,
Elimination of
so
one
they-
thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. it's-
I'm just.
So when I do the
Yeah, that's
amended,
Good point.
when I do the amended order of conditions, it's gonna be a whole new packet.
Okay,
I mean, you can tell me what the special conditions are gonna be right now.
Scratch
Yeah,
off the
nothing
retaining-
special, just
Oh, the bond. I think.
whatever's applicable, I guess.
Scratch off the monuments or,
I don't,
because,
Well, the retaining wall.
yeah, but where the monument,
so where's the
that-
50 foot?
leave
Is
that
that
in
gonna,
Where
is that gonna mess up
Back
anything?
here.
Where's the 50 foot? Yeah.
Not really, no. We have erosion control going into the 50, but all the grading is outside of the 50 foot. So monuments along the 50 foot does not really pose a problem.
Okay.
okay,
And
Yeah,
that's
that's-
gonna be
That would have happened anyhow, right?
buffer
so that'll remain.
and not necessarily,
Not
do you
necessarily.
want that in the lower?
No, no, see a need for that. No, that's so steep down there, they're not gonna be.
Right. I'll never come back and say you.
Yeah, right.
If they roll them down.
Unless you plan on building an Alpine slide or something.
Zip line, speed go.
Yeah.
So monuments and 50 foot buffer,
Usual erosion control.
how many monuments?
So there was gonna be 8 boulders.
Yeah.
Well, that one was, the 8 boulders were gonna be down
Okay.
there. I don't know how many you guys want up there.
Just 50 foot on center, whatever that ends up being, right? So,
50 foot in between,
right, that's.
or
what-
25
That's
foot,
center, yeah.
Yeah. on center.
25 feet.
So it's less than 50 between it, it's 50 on center.
So every 50 feet.
50 feet on center.
How many you
This is-
thinking?
this is 40 feet right here.
Correct.
So that would be like
Oh.
2 or 3
Up
boulders,
here.
right?
Well, Jeff was thinking 5, now I was thinking 5.
5 boulders in total.
Yeah, give it a quantity as opposed to a
One
distance.
there, one.
That way
Two
it's
up and two down.
understood and
Yeah, I think he'd be good with that.
easier for everybody.
Want to hear, Jeff?
Sure.
And then there's 2 out from there on each side.
Yep, so 5 boulders.
Yeah, cause that's like that's the shallow.
Easy.
one.
So
Easier.
as far as boulder size,
They don't have to count them and.
You know.
specified before, it's between like 1,000 pound boulder is 2 foot by 2 foot by 3, I think. So 500 to 1,000 pound boulder, nobody's gonna move a 500 pound
Okay.
boulder. So that sounds
I like
reasonable.
that recommendation. Everybody agree?
It's a good plan.
How am I supposed to measure that?
With a ruler.
You said 500?
Tape
It's a
measure.
visual assessment.
Yeah, visual.
2 by 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you look at a boulder and it's this by,
Granite or sandstone?
Oh.
Thank you.
We'll bring a ski- we'll bring a ski-
7 by 3.
Right, that's what I
Yeah,
like.
out there and
Um,
Ignatius.
any.
They're getting weird now.
pond.
Do you want to do plaques on this too? Do you want to do plaques on all of them from now on, or? You can get a standard plaque.
Sure, yeah, we should come up with a standard.
Yeah,
What we can do down the road is we can use the Wetland Protection Act filing money to buy plaques that we can give.
Google knows everything.
that'd be
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
Yeah.
to the applicants.
That
That
would-
was 1,000 pound boulder.
Then I'll
Save it by
they
two
put
by
the
two.
boulders in and here's the
Yeah,
plaque.
the plaque.
See, that's, yeah.
Google knows
perfect,
everything.
yeah.
I like that.
We'll buy
Well,
the
yeah, I
epoxy
mean,
too.
yeah, you could get lighter rock.
Somebody will get new business.
Go out and put him on.
Okay, someone-
These guys like field trips.
Yeah.
There you go.
See,
All right.
make sure we
Okay.
put them there.
So we're all set on that. All right.
Now,
Am I-
Or, sorry, no.
what is the cash value of a bond if you wanna put one up, this cash instead of a bond, instead of wasting time on a cash?
What?
Instead of wasting time to go get a bond. And I just put the cash value up.
You can write a check, so the treasurer will take a check. We'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
For
10,000.
10,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is if it hasn't been posted already.
And I don't think we posted last time because of what they did to it last time. I didn't, there's no way I put a 30-foot foundation in line.
Okay,
That's right.
all right.
Held up.
Well, Sabrina,
I
no,
almost got his signature on the card of July.
Yeah.
pre-construction is already.
Nice.
He can start doing the erosion control work right away, though, right?
Yeah,
Okay, very good.
get that rolling. Thank you. Good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait, you know, request for certificate of compliance, 157 Feeding Hills Road.
That Jeff is probably gonna come in here.
Okay. We can wait.
Second. and then probably just-
All night.
Go to the next one, just while we wait. That should be filled this week.
Pine Road Culvert, request for certificate of compliance.
Yes. Did you sign in?
Okay. That'll work.
How we doing? Perfect. Randy Brown, DPW Director.
All right.
We did site visit.
We. And you wanna
Everything
talk?
looks good. You wanna add more to
A quick refresher, so we replaced a culvert on Klein Road, a couple 100 feet away from South Loomis Street. The old culvert was, I think 36-inch corrugated metal pipe. The new culvert is 9 feet wide by 6 foot wide, 6 foot high, concrete culvert. There's a natural stream bottom to it. There's some associated drainage in the area as well. Yeah, so last week Sabrina and Mehmet stopped by and site visit. Erosion controls, the only thing that's remaining is erosion controls are still in place and the project sign is still in place.
Right.
Assuming this board signs stuff on it tonight, we'll pull all that down.
Okay.
But everything, the site's stabilized, my grass is growing well. Moving for certificate compliance.
Nice work.
Yeah.
So unless Eversource moving their poles.
Plantings, everything. All in place.
Okay.
Eversource, or is that?
I don't know.
Verizon, well,
What
it
did
was
I-
Verizon, it was everybody.
Looking for a motion?
Yep.
Make a motion to approve the certificate of compliance.
I'll
Pine
second.
Road.
All in
Andy,
favor?
I.
Chris, I.
Nor am I.
Kevin, I.
Dennis, I.
Jerry, I.
All right.
And there was no bond on this.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
That was easy, huh?
Okay, we'll come back up to request for certificate of compliance, 157 Feeding Hills Road. That you, Jeff, again? Yes.
Okay, so,
Is it on Thursday?
150.
Okay.
here on behalf of Art Radinsky for Crepes Tea House to request a certificate of compliance on the structures that were built there and landscape work. The structures were built at a higher level than originally planned, so they less of an impact on the flood storage, and the flood storage was inconsequential, so there was no call for compensatory storage in the order of conditions. The walkway is built roughly as planned. It was a little larger than originally designed, but not significantly so. So it's fully stabilized. There's numerous shrubs and small trees are planted. It's really, it's very nice. It's, you know, the area along the stream is stabilized better than it was before the work was even done, so I think it's an improvement.
You already sent the,
What's that? I submitted that,
is there an as-built plan with that? or-
yes,
Oh,
there is.
you
I
guys
have it.
can't see what I'm
I
looking
can
at.
see what they,
Yeah.
There was an as-built plan. Let me try to share. Nice.
And I brought copies of it also, so. We submitted that in October. Also, there was a request to show the floodway.
Yes,
area on it, and there's 3 copies of that also, which we sent PDFs of.
Yeah.
Back in October.
so I asked for the high velocity area. None of the buildings are located within the high velocity. Let me
What's the
bring
overflow?
up,
This one in the overflow room.
So the orange is the 500 year,
Mhm.
the blue is the 100 year, so there's one here.
Yeah.
They're in the 100 year, but none of them are in the high velocity flow area,
Right.
which is the crosshatched area.
so. Yeah, let me. So this is an aerial image. And one of the questions that I had was, how much more pervious surface was put into place with the walkway? Because essentially from right here down, that was not part of the plan.
I baked that off in about 27 feet.
Long,
I think that you had said it was 140 square.
I just from doing the measurements with the aerial, I estimated at 100, I think it was 140 square feet. Additional. So here's the as-built, which that's not necessarily reflected.
Doesn't reflect that.
And then I can bring up the approved plan. I think it was this one. This was the approved plan. DB.
So it had kind of a larger circular area at the
Mhm.
end, but instead they put a
The path
walkway
was,
going down.
in the NOI, the path was said to be 3 feet wide. I didn't measure how wide it actually was.
No, I said how wide?
3.
Oh, it's
I
at
think
least
it is.
5. At least 5 feet. Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't lay down. I'm about 5 feet tall.
I didn't measure it.
Okay.
And, you know, I understand there's differences in how it was planned and how it was built, and we've gone around on that, but I think overall it's a little consequence. I mean, you have a path so people can walk on it.
Mm.
People have baby strollers,
Mhm.
people have wheelchairs. I don't think that increase in the path size is significant as far as, I mean, there's plenty of grass area on the sides for the water to run in and infiltrate into the grass off of the walkways.
Sabrina, in the order of conditions, did it call for extra impervious surface in the parking area? I thought it did in the,
Let me see if I have it in my file.
I have it here.
No, this is.
I thought there was some
Condition.
added drainage
Um,
compensating.
I don't think so. And I did check to see if there was any mention of wanting to have impervious pavers. There was no mention of that.
That was
No.
my next question.
Yeah, and I listened to all 3 meetings. This is before me, so I listened to all 3 meetings. I read the meeting minutes and there wasn't. So this, there's standard order of conditions.
Be under the additional. order of conditions.
Yeah, bond. No. There was just two additional, it was the bond and then the right to fine $300 per day. That's it. And yes, there is a $10,000 bond for this, so if the request is granted, just make sure you release the $10,000 bond too.
Once this, if it gets approved, the order of conditions or the request, then we'll begin designing and laying out the handicap ramps. That had to wait till after this is done to do that. So that's kind of step two, which I think will be a request for determination. Because I think we'll be under the threshold on buffer zone impact.
So have they satisfied the order of conditions?
I have another question. In the notice of intent, we have a proposed enlargement of concrete pad. Sorry, it's slow up on there. Was that ever enlarged or was that left alone due to planning?
I don't know that it was increased, the concrete pad where the refrigeration unit is beside the building, did the pad get increased or did you stay with the pad that was there?
No, it's increased,
You did increase it, okay,
but we checked, we were building the parking.
okay, yeah, I think is that outside the 100-foot buffer?
It is still within, I think this is the 200 right here.
Oh, the
Hold on.
riverfront,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, we're in Riverfront.
right.
So it's in with the 200 outside of the 100 for the wetland down here.
I do not have an answer on the size of it, of what it was, it says 16 by 20.
Yeah. So, did I write it down? Existing concrete pad for large refrigeration unit. I wrote it down in the notepad. It says concrete pad originally was 16 by 20 feet. Oh, you wanted it 16 by 20 feet.
Right.
There was an existing 12 by 16 concrete pad. So there would be additional 128 square feet. Within the outer 100 feet of the riverfront. So. The goal was to be 16 by 20.
Do you know if that's about what they did?
Yeah.
16 by 20, okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Sorry, I wasn't on top of that.
no, and I just read it, late last week when I was reviewing this stuff, so that's why I didn't mention it during the meeting. Let's see. Site project proposed. Yeah, $10,000, so just FYI, there was no pre-construction site visit in the file, I'm not sure if that was actually done. And I saw no, EM reports on file. Just letting you guys know. Nothing was submitted to the commission when these things were being built. But the bond was posted. And
You were there, what do you think? Well, I'm trying to remember back from when we approved it, the original plan. I know we discussed pervious versus non-pervious surfaces, but I don't remember what we go there on.
this one, there was a thing before you were on the commission. But last year, I think they asked for a request for certificate of compliance. And I think that came up in conversation. As well as compensatory storage, but looking back when it was under public hearing, compensatory storage, it was minimal, like 1 and 32 fifths of an inch.
Yeah, it was of no consequence, right? So, and it wasn't listed in the order.
It
I don't
wasn't.
think impervious. Pavers were, I don't think pervious pavers were also listed.
They weren't.
So,
Well, it's not in the order conditions. So
Right.
they're not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But whether I was on the board or not, I was at the meeting.
Oh, you were?
I was-
Oh, good job.
I went to all the meetings. So, like,
My question was,
I'm gonna, kick it back to you guys for, and
is
Like,
there
I-
anything that you can point out that's specifically not in compliance?
the walkway.
Okay.
There are plantings along the riverfront. There is an island, it's not, in this image, but there is an island with plantings in there. I think that was talked about, during the public hearing. So that's been done. There's additional plantings out back around here. And
So it's just the walkway? we're looking
yeah,
at?
it's just the walkway.
In addition to the additional 27 feet or so, they're wider than the original
So we
plan was.
have to figure out how much more impervious surface, is that what the,
We can figure, we can do the multiplication. No, I'm not sure if it's 4 or 5 foot wide, and it said it was supposed to be 3 foot wide.
And is that gonna have an effect?
Does that
on-
really, does that matter?
That's what I'm gonna,
Well,
I don't see that it would. I mean,
There's grass surrounding it, right? So you.
Yeah.
there's grass all around it. I mean,
I mean, if we forced them to take it out and put it into the correct size, we're gonna cause more land damage. than-
Probably.
Can I add a little bit?
just state your name and address, please.
My name is Artur Stravinskas, 157 Fair Hills. So the reason of that extension, which we did down the road, because people used to bring dogs there and it's a path there. It's always sandy. So it was washing off all the time. So this is why we extended just to cover that area where they walking anyways. So that down the brook. And this is why they lay more tiles just to secure, because anytime water comes up high, we're not talking about like, normal, but when it's flooded, that area would be washed off all the time anyways. Because it kind of walked away fast. And you probably saw it, it's like a tree fell down, so kind of covered. People couldn't walk any further, but at least towards that point, we thought it's kind of logical to make it pavers. For sure, it's not gonna be washed off.
So it's kind of helping with erosion.
if you
Yeah.
come to the commission and explain that to them, they probably would have, it would have been on record that
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
approved.
I mean,
It's a problem because you didn't come to us,
I mean, yeah, I just,
but
Does it impede
I don't know if
absorption
that-
of water?
I don't know if that's gonna hold up the certificate of compliance or not, is it?
well, his point makes me remember when I did the delineations, I do remember there's a path that goes out in the woods and it's just a woods trail.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's muddy. And so what he's doing here, he's increased the impervious area by a small amount. But he's minimizing the erosion and sediment that you're gonna get into the stream there. So I think that that's kind of, it kind of washes.
Mhm.
Well, the negative impact of the impervious is better than the erosion, and that, people are gonna walk down there, it's gonna muddy up the path, and, I think you're better off with pavers than you are just a dirt path. And people will walk there. As they do.
Like Dennis said, it would have been great if you came in with that in the plan, explain that.
Yeah, I
would've
don't think we're arguing
Probably
the
gotten
fact
to
that,
approve that plan,
yeah,
but now that's past that point, it makes it messy, that's all. No, I agree, I believe it's an improvement as well. There have been other plantings been done. I'm ready to take a motion.
if that's the only issue, I'll make a motion to approve the certificate of compliance.
I'll second. Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
I'll abstain from the vote.
Okay. Aye. Chris
Norm,
Pratt,
aye.
Kevin, I.
Dennis, I.
Jerry, I.
Okay, motion
Um.
carries. One abstention. We'll take a vote to release the bond, everybody make a motion.
I'll move to release the bond,
I'll second.
$10,000.
Abstain from the vote.
Okay. Aye. Chris Pratt, aye.
Norm, I.
Kevin, I.
Dennis, I.
Jerry, I.
Okay, motion carries again with an abstention.
They are, yep, I noticed one of them was written on, sorry, so. Yes, those are. Here's files. Are we all set on that?
Yep.
All right, just briefly, I'll give you the update on Noble Steed is that it's still waiting on engineering stuff. So, I have started filling out applications to Army Corps and NEPA. And everything, but we have to wait till the engineering started.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Jeff.
Thanks very much, everybody.
Yep. Good night.
Yep. Still got a Mookie Betts down there. so
Yeah, that's me.
I just had.
Hope springs eternal, right? I got a Tom Brady one too.
If you have a request for a certificate of compliance, 141 Congamon Road.
Good evening, Ken Eggleston. 41 Tonga.
Thank you.
He's there.
You wanted.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back, Ryan.
Ready, thank you. Let me try and pull this one up. Okay. So this is for Mr. Eggleston's project, 141 Congamon Road. Project involved the rehab of this existing restaurant building, associated site improvements, parking, lot improvements, drainage improvements, sewer pump improvements, new striping, landscaping. There was a retaining wall at the southern part of the parking lot. There was some regrading for comp storage at this peninsula down here. There was plantings that were to be installed along the water. Those have all been done. Floating docks have been installed. Those have all been installed properly. Everything is stable. Everything's vegetated. There was that Filtrex grow sock that was to be staked along the waterfront to help minimize erosion. That was done. It has decomposed and the impregnated seeds within it. Look like a fair amount of them have germinated and taken hold along the bank. All the plantings, aside from one or two, I think on the northern end that the beavers are chewing on, have survived and are doing well. So everything looks according to plan. We did a site visit last week. I inspected it a couple times before that, and I did not find any issues with the project.
Anyone else go out?
Looks good.
No.
Site visit?
Yeah.
You did site visit?
Yeah.
Look good.
So we wrote a report up.
It's in there.
Yeah. Yep, you know. It looked good.
Yeah.
There was one planting. That did not survive. But the rest of them look like they have survived. There's cages all around them because the beavers are busy over there and those cages seem to be working.
They keep it trimmed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
I told the guys, the restaurant guys, that they need to trim it more.
Yeah.
The
No, I'm
The
just thinking
growth.
about
The growth
the
around.
beavers are trimming.
Well, yeah, the beavers, well,
Yeah, extra.
Anything that sticks out is gone, you know.
a lot of those plantings are second plantings.
Right, right.
Some of them are third plantings. The beavers got in, tore the cage down, because it wasn't deep enough in the ground, and ate them up again. But, you know, I guess there is one that didn't survive, or maybe it'll come back, who knows?
Hmm.
But,
Yeah,
it's an ongoing battle with the beavers.
Looking for motions,
Take a motion.
I'll make a motion for.
I'll second.
Points.
Okay, no, I'll do it.
Andy, I.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Norm, I.
Kevin, I.
That is like.
Jerry, I.
Wow, thank you.
We release the bond.
you wanna release that bond? I'll move to release the bond.
I'll second that.
Andy, I.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Norm, I.
Kevin, I.
That is like.
Jerry, I.
Okay.
Something mentioned about the trash.
yes, I did mention something.
It's been cleaned.
Okay.
Actually, the barrel's been taken away, actually,
All right, great.
but it also was cleaned, all around it.
Right,
But, with the docks not being in use at this time of year,
right.
I just took the whole barrel right away.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
I think that's where that trash comes from.
Mhm.
And, so a little behind getting it cleaned up, my problem. It's not their responsibility, in the trash. For the barrel that I put there.
Maybe next year have one with a little
Yeah.
cap on it.
There used to be a cap.
Beavers.
Shame.
No, not the beaver. I think, I don't know where it went. I'm not gonna
We
say
had
it.
a couple windy days. It might be.
That's true.
It might be, I'm not gonna say in a way.
I know.
But yeah, I don't know where it is.
Mm.
When you release a bond, how long does it take?
Is there an average there,
Yeah.
Dennis, for releasing the bond?
All it is that I write up a letter for the treasurer. He gets the letter, and then I don't know what happens after that.
Right, I'm wondering if there was a average of time per week, 2 weeks.
No.
Who holds the bond?
Treasurer,
The treasurer.
Okay.
Treasurer of the town of Southwick, right?
yeah.
Mhm. And first I need to write up the letter, so.
Okay.
And then just think,
Think you can do that this week?
I can try, no
Please.
promises.
I just need a portion of this money by the 10th, but
By the 10.
by the 10th, and we are at
Okay.
the 4th. There's no cash and, what's the bill do?
I will see what I can do and I'll let you know.
Come in handy.
And I don't think that the lawyer who has waited long enough will wait much longer.
Okay,
Fair enough.
Thank you all.
Thanks. Ken.
Appreciate it.
have a good night, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Here we have an application for variance of section 6.2 annual removal of docks at 107 Lakeview Street.
John Wakeman, 24 Aviator Way, Westfield.
You guys have the application. here.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, why would you like?
It would be very difficult or impossible to pull the dock out. It's been there, it's the sediment on the bottom of it, it's bolted. It's bolted to a wood dock and it is square footers buried in the north pond. And it keeps moving this way, filling in. So it's just.
I like your picture there better. These were hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know, I didn't
let
know
me,
if I could, I didn't know how to do it, so I
What's
do,
the
I
address
do
again,
have
Lake?
107 Lakeview, so I'm here for
Thank you.
107 Lakeview for my dad's place. He
Right.
retired, So,
I should have, here's your
yeah,
variance.
so it comes off
request.
comes off of this dock, which is a wood dock. Like that, and then, right, and it's bolted here, and then it's maybe 4 pylons out, and they are all, there's no wheels on it. I mean, it's been it's been there since 15 years now or something, and it hasn't been moved then, so whatever, getting it out and moving it would be digging out the pylons.
Is it wood? Is it wood type?
Well, it's attached, right, so this is original wood dock, this is the one that was there when he
Okay.
moved in, so it's bolted here, then there's maybe 4 pylons, let me go back. So as we come out in this way, right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and those are all they're in.
Okay, so there's no pressure treated wood hitting the water?
There, That is a good question.
It's been there for a long, long
It's
time.
been there
Yeah.
since before, so this was the next thing I have the wood, I mean, the question is. I'd rather be gone, the
Yeah.
whole thing, yeah, you know, it's a matter.
Your
of-
stanchions are wood, yeah.
Yeah, so, and how far they are in the water also varies great, I mean, there's times they're barely. In the water.
just in the
at this
muck.
point.
They're in the
You're
muck.
right, they're in the
Right,
muck, I
yeah.
mean, it really matters on the water level, as far as that goes.
Is that like your dock on that?
Hmm?
Is that similar to your dock?
Ours was,
It's all wood, right?
it was originally, and then just before we went, I don't know why, got the aluminum kind with the wheel. So
You were able to pull that wooden one out of
and
the
then
water though.
float half of it and something, but, it's a faint memory now, so I don't know. But, you know, that was a lot of years ago, so but yeah, it was removable.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that I kept emphasizing.
Whereas this one isn't, right?
Well, if you have
This one
removable,
doesn't sound like, this one looks like it's built in.
if you have removable stanchions, I mean, I had a wood one
Right.
for 30+ years. You
Right,
just take everything out, but this seems to be piled into the ground,
oh,
so it's not easy to do.
yeah, no,
I
Can't
can
get
see,
it out.
I can see that, that would be, unless you modify the design and, you know, next guy might wanna do that, you know what I mean?
It's not feasible.
no.
Okay.
The way that it was designed, it was just kind of stuck in there.
Navigation or safety hazard, is that any concern with that?
Typically, we ask for like some sort of lighting or, you know, reflective cones.
Did
For the window.
so you have the comment on this?
We
one?
can put, I can check, it did have lights on but I will check them, I can add the
Yeah.
lights to it. I
That's
think.
typically what,
Yeah.
Slam into it, you know.
for those that get the variance, it's
It's
like.
been in
So I'll
prior
do the
years.
lights. I'll
Yeah.
make sure they're in, that they're.
Just in
working.
case a crazy snowmobiler goes across it.
So we could condition the variance with that,
Right, that's,
with the
would
code
that satisfy LMC? I think
That's
Probably
usually.
standard.
that probably
procedure.
would though, yeah.
Condition that would be
Collective
under
stuff,
comment.
like-
Yes,
Right.
exactly,
Okay.
that's why.
So the,
Now, what about the boat lift? Is
Yeah,
that
that's
in
a
the
boat
water
lift.
or not?
It's not in the water. We haven't had it in the water because I can't have it deep enough. It would be in the channel quite deep right now, the way, so I did have it back, I mean, it's been, I don't know if it's 5 years since it's been in the water. Because it just. It's, I think, a danger to my
Yeah.
boat. I mean, people coming through North Pond, it would sit out, it's just, there's so much sediment that's come in from the. As it kind of comes around, so it's sitting right as far up as I could possibly get. We winch it out when we bring it in, and it is winched up as much as it can as far as the front of the retaining wall. And then the back feet, again. Sometimes can be in the water, sometimes cannot, just because I can't bring it, and I can't put it sideways. It's we have a hill about like this, and sideways would.
Yeah.
Be, I think, a danger, so it's winched up as far as I can possibly get it out of it.
but it's still a little in the water? Is that why you're asking? for
Well,
that
that's why I
variance?
didn't know, because if you came by, depending on the water level, the back
Oh,
feet could
okay.
be in the water,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was
There's two
transparency.
applications.
Yeah,
okay.
The one for the
That's why I
left,
wasn't
so
Yeah,
sure,
we can-
that's why there's
We could
two.
do that, but we'd make sure that we
That
explain
explains.
that,
Put that in
that's
the
why,
comments,
because
yeah.
it's like, could be a foot or two.
Yeah,
Depending on water level.
On water level,
And that,
right.
that does fluctuate, so.
So
If
that's,
it's not gonna be
that's
used,
that one.
would it just
Where
be
you
taken
guys
away
want-
anyways?
Well, I've
Yeah,
tried to, so.
Of
of course. But you know,
If
it's here.
the wood dock was to be removed at some point, I think we had a dock further down. If you see how if you saw how it kind of goes like this, we're at the peak out here. If you could ever put it on the docking, you'd probably use it and would not be as far out, so it's on the edge. Twice I thought I had it sold along the way of people along the way, so it's on that fence of it may just be.
They may
disabled at
opt
this
for
point.
that at a future date. That's probably
Yeah,
what
yeah, I would probably be at this point, like I said, I've had inquiries about selling it and been on the fence, and they either don't wanna
I'd
pay or moving it's a whole nother.
I'd put a
With a
nice
whole nother
aluminum
thing.
plastic one in with stanchions that
Yeah.
just one guy can take it out.
Right.
Looks like he qualifies, they both qualify for the variance.
Take a
right?
motion.
So,
Yeah, he can probably do it. Just put your lights on
You
there.
make a motion.
Okay, all right.
I'll move to give this gentleman a variance for his dock.
I'll second. All in favor?
Andy,
What about Chris Pratt, aye?
Norman.
Kevin, I.
Dennis, on it, for
Jerry,
the
aye.
dock and the
And the lift.
and the lift.
And for comments for the lift, we used to put that, it just isn't totally out of the water.
And comments on the dock would be the. put the
Lights.
up there.
Different.
I'll cover it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for coming in.
No problem.
So I need to hand that, I'm just trying to remember the process. I need to give that off to Harbor Master and LMC.
Yeah.
Just send it to them.
So just a side question. What does it say that? You know, lakes and people being who they are, not to offend anybody, but like if somebody says, hi, hey, how come his dock doesn't have to get out? Why don't I build one like that?
Ah, but that would be a new dock.
It's
Cause
got
that'd
the
be a new
time
dock,
frame
so
in
you
there,
have
right?
regulations in places what a dock
He's kind of
should be.
I think he's grandfathered.
Yeah,
in.
kind of, right. That's
Eventually,
what I
that thing's
figured.
gonna rot out and somebody's
what I
gonna say,
figured.
we need a new dock. At
Yeah.
that point, it's,
So when it eventually
May
deteriorates,
31st,
the new one.
2010
will
I
have to
think
be
so.
updated.
That's what I would do if I were buying the house.
So he wouldn't be able to do the same thing again and be off the hook for another.
No.
couple years.
2010, May 31st is the cutoff date.
Okay.
It has to be in before then.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, just curious.
Yeah, I mean, so. if
Yeah, we switched stars because the untreated regular wood deteriorates very quickly.
Yeah, it
Like,
does.
3 years. So
And the ice could take it for a ride too.
Yeah,
And that could be another condition we
Up in a
put in
line.
there when it
right,
finally deteriorates, it has to be replaced with
Yeah.
a removable dock.
fair enough.
Time will fix the problem, probably.
Mhm. Okay, we'll move on. Forest cutting plan review, 12 Feeding Hill Road, AKA Captain Fowler Apartment.
So you have the little packet in your folder. Review for comments. I checked on our wetlands layer under GIS, and GIS says there's no wetlands. I don't actually think there are based on
Across the police station.
this is behind, this is behind the plaza where Berkshire Bank is. I can actually bring up the,
It's all beautiful, high, where you used to ride through in your dirt bikes to get gas at the motor station. It's all high mountain back there.
It's definitely wetlands behind the grist mill. And there's a
Yeah.
stream that goes under the road on 57.
Used to be.
Should show
Yeah,
on
that's
the
to
map.
the, that's to the left of their stuff. This, their stuff
That's
is
to the
all
left of
pretty
it.
high. Fowler's is all like, it's a big mound back there, big
yeah,
granite
so
rock.
this is the parcel here. Let's see if I can get up a base map. And then we put in the wetland layers, which does not necessarily mean there isn't. Where did all the layers go? That's different.
It's all beautiful oak in there.
So that's what they're looking at.
It's just, it's thinking.
It's a whole big triangle.
Okay.
so.
So there was somebody who I spoke to today, one of the abutters, I think it's 642, yep, Zuber. He was concerned about this forest exactly runoff, so he's saying like he's concerned if trees are removed, then stormwater. There would be an increase of stormwater on his property.
In mine,
Which one is yours?
that's the stream that connects over to Hudson Drive. Runs through all the fields and under the railroad tracks and.
What stream?
It goes around the back.
Right up back here?
Yeah, this is right back. Out through here, it goes across the fields in front of the solar farm,
Okay.
and then it goes under
Intermittent
the,
stream.
goes under
Yeah.
Feeding Hills Road at the library. That's not, yeah, I think the
You can
solar
see it
farm
there.
proved it wasn't intermittent stream even. Like
It's right at the edge of
Where's
that.
the staging area over here? No, they're gonna put their staging area here, and here, like the landing area, you
They're
mean?
gonna come out, yeah, they're gonna come out here.
Yeah, it's in there,
Another cloud palace.
Yeah,
it's in the.
they had two landing areas, one was at the end of this, and one's at the end of that parking lot.
Okay.
The only time there's water in that now is that one special day, pretty much in March, when all the snow melts and it rains,
Yeah, there's
and then that thing comes.
quite a bit of runoff that does come from there. Always has been.
So you're
Well,
saying the
it's-
lot 31.
Even with the solar farm, it's slowed down a lot, because now they don't plow that field, it's all grass under the solar panels.
Mhm.
So it's changed. What goes on, like as the amount of water that goes by the library is diminished.
How much of that are they planning on cutting? Is it gonna affect what you're talking about as far as the dynamic
I
of
didn't see
the?
if it's like, is it like a clear cut, they're gonna,
No, it's not a clear cut. No, no, this is long-term. This is a long-term plan, the healthier plans. And let's see, what did they write in their
To
report?
get rid of a bunch of oak trees or something, or?
So there's no wetland impact whatsoever.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see anything that they would have marked wetlands on their map.
Well, not necessarily. You really need to go out and look at the site, because sometimes the foresters don't get it exactly right, or they don't put it right on the plan.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Andy's pretty familiar with the area,
Yeah, it's,
and it says there's no wetland impact, so there's nothing we can do anyway at this point.
so that's like behind, the Chinese food restaurant, and it all
Yeah.
just goes uphill real fast.
Yeah.
Back in
I
the-
never even noticed that there was a hill.
Every one of
there.
these lots, like goes up real
right.
quick, and then over and down to the field on the backside. But
Um,
it is just a giant granite block there.
The owner of 642, he said he does have wetlands in the back portion of his property. And he's concerned about additional water. And I believe he said if there is additional water, he'd want to like dig a trench to move the water away. Yeah, this is all hypothetical, because
Right.
we don't know yet, but I did tell him I would come by tomorrow with a copy of this plan to see what he has, and I did contact Jacob Macco to let him know that there was somebody who was concerned about increased stormwater on to the property in a butter. But I had just emailed him today. I don't know.
So is this a wetland or are there portions of wetland in there? In that triangle there?
I
And
mean,
will,
I haven't gone out there.
and will it become one if we
No.
cut all the trees down?
The triangle's high,
It's, so it'll slope down always.
where like the back of
Well,
all those lots. is
It's a
high- is
long-term
high.
plan, so they're
It's a
gonna,
long term.
Well, we walked out to 772, right? That site visit, the water's down here,
yeah,
and the water, the low point is like here,
yeah,
and it's all uphill from that side.
I mean, there still could be wetlands uphill.
So
Sure.
it won't
And
flood.
like.
So- that one's out of our jurisdiction.
Yeah, it won't flood.
Like a boat, long-term plan.
Yeah, long-term plan out of our jurisdiction.
Alright,
What else we got?
Is that no comment?
Jerry looks like that.
No comment sent to the state for this one?
Okay.
That's what I think.
So it's not gonna flood.
Yeah, that's all.
Well, comment was made, it's out of our jurisdiction. I think
Yeah.
that's
Okay, well, if it is, it is.
right.
Okay. 55 Foster Road for removal of dead material within the riverfront.
Wait a second.
Oh, Granville Gorge update.
Yes, unfortunately, Randy Brown has left. But him and his team with the DPW cut the big oak tree that was over our pathway. So they cut that up, set those aside.
Is
so
that
now-
the one that somebody cut down?
Yeah,
Chopped it down
they
with a
chopped it down. It took
hatchet?
them forever. It looks like it took them forever and somehow it didn't get caught. So that tree has been removed from the pathway. It was a beautiful beautiful oak tree, and it could have been used for many things, but, and then also he had DPW come with some millings and fill in all those potholes.
Make sure you thank Randy for us.
Yeah, well, I was hoping he was gonna stay longer, but. Yeah, it was a happy update.
do pass the time, you know? Sometimes it's just-
Okay, now on to 55 road tree removal within the riverfront. Dead tree.
Yeah, I don't know if Anatoly is online.
Yes, I am here. Good evening, everyone, again.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, I was asking Sabrina, about, because while we will be clearing the lot when we proposing to build the house. And I was thinking at the same time, if I can remove all the tree which has been, I mean, tree logs which has been left by the tree removal company who did the clearing for the power line. And they didn't take the logs, but they just simply drop it on the property. So that's why I was thinking if that's possible to remove it to make it looks nicer over there.
No, we don't make things look nicer. We keep them for the environment. We don't want anything touched. Dead trees are
Yeah.
good. It's on the
So
ground, they're good
also
environment.
Anatoly, sometimes we give people permission to do one thing and it becomes something way bigger. And then they say, oh, you said we could do these things, you know, and so there's no plan. And like Dennis said, we don't just clean up the forest. The forest is the forest, and that's why it's supposed to be left the way it is. So.
Yeah, I understand
That's why
about the
no
dead
touch.
tree.
Thank you for coming to us, but don't
No
touch it.
touch in there.
Okay, not a problem. Also, I was thinking if Sabrina, you will discuss that restriction declaration which I sent it to you, the draft.
Yeah, you guys have it. It might be at the back of your folder. Declaration of restrictions pursuant to order of conditions. This is Anatoly's draft. Which was requested in the order of conditions.
Yep.
To be reported at the registry of deeds on the property. I think I sent this
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, not like cloud,
Huh?
not like cloud.
Yeah. I'm busy trying to do everything.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, that looks exactly like we were talking about. Right.
Yeah, that's basically the same. We changed all the information like about the property and owner.
The number 2 on the second page there. Permanent monument, the fourth line, it's in no person shall fill, dredge, mow, or alter. How, like the mow is like pretty gentle, but if someone goes back there with an axe and knocks down a tree. Well, it doesn't say I can't do that.
Alter.
It says I couldn't, yeah, an alter's.
You do not touch. Stay
It
away.
seems like somehow you need to like put in there that no altering the vegetation or land. Like it needs to be a little more
So
specific.
if you
and
start doing
abrasive.
specifics, they're gonna say, well, you left that out.
Right.
If you do
You can't put
specifics,
everything in.
Right,
then you're gonna leave something out, and they're gonna say,
Okay.
well, that wasn't in there, so in
Right.
this case, it's better to do a generality,
right.
you know, that no alteration. Period.
But can you put it like no alterations of the vegetation or the. So that it's.
Where'd you
little
get
more
this
like-
wording from?
Yeah, I think if we
Just
do,
wondering.
if we do exclusionary things, I think
The
that.
Sodom,
this is
Sodom
these
Road.
things,
Yeah, this
makes
is-
it permittable.
Standard.
Yeah.
I
I
wanna stay away
understand
from that.
I gave him a copy of that.
Well, I understand, and I think that's what some people try to do with like the North Pond Conservation Restriction. Well, it doesn't say you can do
This
this
is,
here.
this is
But it
a,
doesn't say you can do it there, doesn't
Right.
mean you can't do it there.
This is like a boilerplate standard,
Right.
you know, what people go by, so I wouldn't want to be altering
Changing
it,
it, no.
changing anything
Correct.
in it.
Right.
So you need approval or just that you're looking for a consensus on
I
that?
think, yeah, you guys need to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve the declaration of restriction pursuant to the order of conditions on 55 Fawcett Road.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Andy, I.
Chris Pratt, aye?
Aye.
Kevin, I.
Dennis, I,
Jerry, I.
Okay,
The wording is fine, it
thank you.
does need to be,
formatting needs to be a little.
I didn't mention that before you approved it.
Oh, the words are all good.
Does this needs to be notarized, I assume, by a notary and then recorded?
Yes,
I
will do that, maybe tomorrow and we'll bring it. I mean, we'll record it and we'll send you the copy.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you so
very
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're still waiting for the application materials and field notes, the USB video for 306 Feeding Hills Road.
We have the field notes.
Yay.
And they did give me a USB. I have not had a chance to double check to make sure everything is on the USB. But I'm gonna say that's cool.
Okay,
And I do have the order of make sure I know what I'm talking about here.
It's not got carried away.
I have the order of condition, yeah, 306 Fitting Hills, right? We're talking about.
Yep.
Yep. I have the order of conditions here if you guys want to review it. What did we say for the ongoing condition is just the tree line as depicted in the wetland filing plan. Shall serve as monumentation for limit of work and no further alteration beyond this point shall happen without filing for a permit with the South Lake Conservation Commission.
Perfect.
So
mhm.
you guys are welcome to look at that, read it.
Have
And
you
there
seen
is-
it, Sabrina, or are you comfortable with it? The USB stuff?
I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh.
I
Okay,
can only do so much.
I know.
They're-
I know.
I am going to be sending an email to Nicole and Jason Perone about needing more hours
Of course,
very soon.
of
'Cause
course.
Can't do,
Here, use my pen for a signature.
I think you have our support.
Yes.
yeah, I think it was last year or earlier this year, we had talked about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Just,
You can't be in two places at once.
I can, and for some reason, things keep piling up without me getting it done.
Don't forget, the local permitting program has funds that you should be getting money from for. a lot of
I
this
can,
stuff.
yeah, I mean, I'm
Keep your time,
95% of the work that I do is
in-
Wetlands Protection Act stuff, so.
but if you're doing stuff for just for local permitting, keep your time and take that money out of the
No.
budget that we have, that's what those funds are for.
Yeah.
I think so.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yes,
It's for
If you get
administration.
More hours.
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like
No,
there's
it does
funding.
take up time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It takes
Oh,
a lot of-
take a motion. I'll make a motion to,
Thank you.
since it was a formality on the field notes and USB. I'm gonna make a motion to accept the order of conditions. And what was it? 36, 306 Feeding Hills Road. There you
I'll second that.
go. Thank you, Dennis. All in favor?
Andy, I.
But I,
Chris Pratt, aye.
no, I.
Kevin, I.
Dennis, aye.
Jerry, I.
Okay. Our negative determination, we have to have some signatures on 100 Berkshire Ave.
That's been
We-
Already
completed.
been passed around.
Yep, we did
Okay.
that.
Request for certificate of compliance on 115 Fred Jackson Road, dated last meeting.
So we can do that now.
Thank you.
We have a site visit that was done, and then we also have a plan from an as-built plan from Arlen Vec that was submitted today. Ryan is still on.
Yep.
I'm not sure if he's gonna speak to this. What is this address, Fred Jackson?
115.
60 minutes. Oh, thank you, Ryan.
One second. Hold on here. All right,
All right.
so this is finally have an as-built plan for the commission. House, everything's fine there. There was a section, I'm just gonna go by the list in my letter that was sent over today. Number one, there was a retaining wall off the west side of the house that has yet to be completed, but it's outside the buffer zone. We don't see any issues with that. It's site stable. You could even do away with needing one, just a matter of the owner's preference. Septic was all staked out and installed properly. We overlaid the permitted limit of work versus what the actual clearing was, and you can see all of that is consistent along the limit of work. The conservation restriction area signs are in place. We have all the NHESP monument locations have been pinned out. There was a cross culvert that was proposed on the plan in addition to the existing culvert. That was Mass DEP wanted that for a surety, even though they really hadn't been to the site. But through the past few years of when Kevin was out there constructing things, granted the past 2 years were fairly wet. This existing culvert more than adequately handled the flows, so the thought was that another culvert with additional disturbance wasn't required. There was supposed to be a rain garden, I think in the front yard over here somewhere. But all of the pre-development stormwater flows, or sorry, post-development matches pre. There really wasn't that significant of a grading in this front yard area. So there was no excavation there in the front yard. The wetland replication area, which was up to the northeast on the other side of the wetland, that was installed. I was there with Kevin a couple years ago when he excavated all that. All the grades are correct, and it does have pretty good hydrology, intercepts groundwater. The plantings are in. A few of them had to be replaced. I have no issues with that. So aside from those items, everything else is per the plan.
Do you want to talk about the site visit?
Everything looked like it was in place, all the signs, like I said, they were being overkill
Big.
size wise. You might wanna ask
A little extra.
the board to let you make them smaller.
I think that's what they specified was that size.
Yeah. They're good size. Everything's growing in nice.
Everything's in compliance?
Yep.
Good to
Yeah,
go.
I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to accept your certificate of compliance.
Second. All in favor?
Andy,
Chris Pratt, aye.
Nor mine.
That aside.
Jerry, I.
Okay. We have a $10,000 bond to release. I'll make a motion to release that bond.
Second.
All in favor?
Andy, I.
Nor I.
Chris, aye.
Nor mine.
That aside.
Jerry, I.
Look at 32 Beach Road. Compliance there.
Yeah, I expect to have a letter from, I think it's Sage out of Westfield next week. So hopefully we'll get that done.
Okay.
I understood they were going ahead and buying that place.
Is that the
No.
retaining wall?
This is the retaining wall
I
issue.
thought it was, I had heard, I missed a meeting, but I had heard it was contingent upon us accepting it or it
That's
being
what they said at
accepted.
the meeting, yeah.
And then I had heard, forgot where, that they're gone ahead and put a down payment on it.
Really?
But maybe they had somebody go look at it, engineer
Maybe.
had probably looked at it, so fine, so. But we're gonna table that. is that what you're
Yep,
saying?
table,
Yeah.
so they give us the report. Okay, old business for the discussion of proposed camp plan to satisfy master plan open space action item 1.1. So we have somebody making a website that serve the same purpose, or we need a pamphlet?
Uh,
I mean, I think if you
Well,
deliver it
the-
to people, they're gonna
the
get, they
action
can build a website, build the website.
it's supposed to go to each of the property owners.
Okay,
Each of the waterfront owners.
So if you mimic the pamphlet after the website, but you actually
give you,
deliver it to them, they
right,
got it. You know, how many websites are out there and how many have you visited?
all of
It's,
them.
right. So the likelihood of someone visiting a website, I think, is minimal.
Well, I think if you give a QR code or put one in the pamphlet, then
Right.
people.
Right.
Maybe visit both, so I think the pamphlet's a good idea, but. A lot of times when I get a pamphlet in the mail or something, it goes in the trash quite quickly,
I did have a comment on
unless I'm interested in that thing.
Connecticut and Mass
Yeah, we know
residents
about
at Congamon Lake
Okay,
have responsibilities and number 4, no, number 5, trapping of beavers. I believe that that's only Board of Health, it's not conservation, trapping, removing of dams would be conservation, but trapping of beavers is a Board of Health
Right,
issue, and in Connecticut, they have different laws about, I think they've got they had open season on beavers.
Yeah.
In Connecticut.
Is it all year?
I'm not sure if that's changed, but a few years ago, they changed that, yeah,
so you're saying you like that removed?
or, yeah, because we don't have jurisdiction over the actual trapping. Only the removal of dam. To protect the habitat, not the beaver.
yeah, I'll call it Baker Shore, South Pond, Griffin Road, town of Southfield installed outfall, private property.
Hang on a second now, you're out, I think we're done with this one.
We're not,
I had asked that everybody read it and give me their comments, Sabrina gave some comments, they have
Yeah,
incorporated into this document, and if there are no other changes, other than the one that was just mentioned, which I could change, can I move forward on the project?
sure,
We still need to get the guy from Connecticut's comment, right,
Right. That's my next step, is to go to him.
do we need to see that again, or is that something that's outside of our,
Well,
when Keith gets.
I will keep you apprised of
All right,
what
that's
the
good.
documents evolve into.
Good enough.
All right.
I thought it read really easy, Norm.
yeah,
Like reading it, it was like
In
easy to
English.
read through and
Yeah,
understand it.
layman's
It
terms.
was like welcoming.
Yep.
It wasn't like, hey,
Yeah.
these are the rules, you gotta read them.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it like drew you in instead of like.
It's just an informational piece.
yeah,
Yeah,
good information to put out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed. Okay, we need to make a motion on that, or discussion was good, I think.
What's the next step on this now?
Next
Submit
step.
submit the draft or?
the next step is to get to Keith Morris and the Suffield Conservation Commission
Okay,
to
get them to approve and comment and, right,
We also want to get our select board to endorse it as well.
okay. And after that, is it a bylaw or does it get submitted as a bylaw, at least for our part of it?
No, I hadn't planned on it.
Just kind of a
Informational, all the things in
informational,
there are-
suggestive,
Go in the open space plan eventually too.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's great, yeah.
So to look at it, there's no real penalty if someone were to violate any of this. This is what I'm,
There are penalties
Oh, no,
associated
some of
with
them are
it,
Yeah.
kind of what I'm
but
getting
like
at,
Andy
you know.
says, we don't want to put that
Yeah.
in there because it's
Right,
hitting
Right.
people over the head doesn't work that
Yes.
well.
Oh, like you can't run your washing
Right.
machine water in there, there's a penalty for that.
yeah,
But yet, yeah, I know.
So, you know,
Okay,
All right, I guess probably deal with that on an individual basis if
Oh,
it
absolutely.
arises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, this is great, Norm.
Get more.
Okay, thank you very much.
Alrighty, I'll call it Baker Shore and South Pond. We have a letter drafted to the select board,
Yeah,
as an action item.
I sent it to you and Norm to review.
Yeah, I think I gave it a thumbs up.
Okay, Norm, did you?
I read it, I had no problem with the letter, my only issue is the timing. We're in the process of negotiating a contract with the select board in Suffield for the LPP.
Yeah, this is
program.
just to our select board.
This goes to the select board and then we ask them what they want us to do, so they could, they have that information, we did our due diligence.
It's
at least
informational for
to this
them to
point.
make, help us make the next step.
I think they already are kind of aware of it, but I just want to
Yeah.
make sure they have an official letter from us,
No problems with that.
okay?
Okay,
Have they paid yet from last year?
I don't believe so, Jason's
have
not
not.
returning any of my emails.
Is that,
And
are you sure they're going through?
I'm not sure, I don't get anything that says he didn't make it.
okay, and we got, LMC to resolve the dock situation at 129 North Lake Ave, 3 docks exceeded 600 square feet maximum surface area.
Yes.
3 docks total 1,800 square feet.
Okay, we talked last time about, incorporating, possibility of incorporating Lily Drive into the solution. Basically, Lily Drive does impact each of the properties along the lakes. I went back to the solicitor, or not the solicitor, the assessor. And the first thing she said was realize that on the map, Lily Drive looks pretty big. She says it's really a really small segment of land. Secondarily, she said that all the properties there are taxed as waterfront properties. As if they own the land. And then I checked with another source on the towpath that we had. Which was similar issues. And it took years to resolve the ownership of the towpath. So my suggestion is, you wanna explore Lily Drive for ownership. We should separate it from the issue of the 600 square foot violation. Okay, and send the letters out.
How far away is it from the lake?
What was what from
The Lily, that, is it right on the water or?
So
So,
it's in the water.
so it's,
It separates the landowner.
Here.
Has the water.
Oh, wow,
So-
let me share.
There's Lily Drive and the big one of concern is 46.
so it's within our jurisdiction.
Yeah, the towpath was a different situation and that turned out bad.
Which one is the
It was a
tow-
terrible
This,
decision.
that's just portion of this or something?
Well, it's this dock,
Yeah,
this dock and this dock.
okay.
Okay.
So that's-
Two of them by themselves are over 600.
Well,
square feet.
Oh, yeah.
this dock down here,
No. That one,
whose dock is that?
I didn't look up, see.
Well, see, that's the thing, we can't just isolate 1 or 2 docks, we gotta go every one of them that's on there. 'Cause some of these, they're not even waterfront properties that have docks,
It's like White Street.
it's not fair.
Yeah, it's across the street from it and they got, yeah.
I don't have a problem if we wanna go after the Lily Drive issue,
Yeah,
but we gotta separate it from the violation that's been there at 129 and 119 North Lake.
Chris, what do you think about the letters?
One from Gene, or to Gene?
One to Gene and one to the
One to
Harris.
Harris.
They own the 2 pieces of property that the docks of greater than 600 square feet.
I think these could run concurrent with the Lily Drive issue.
Yeah, I'd like to see it concurrent as well.
I'm gonna make
As
a,
far
I'm
as a.
gonna make a motion that we split them and we vote on the 600 square foot issue and read through the letters.
Well, we don't know if 600 is the square foot issue if we don't know the lead dock thing, so can we separate them for that?
So,
I think we can. I think
Yeah.
the docks are huge. So if the people own the Lily Drive, let's assume they own it. They're way over 600 feet. So that's easy, that whether they own it
Yeah.
or not, they're over 600 feet. So these letters assume.
I would add in the letter, show proof that you
Proof of ownership.
ownership. I mean, that's part of it.
And then if you can't, then if there's nothing written
But even
about it,
still, they're over 600.
then we have to
I would
adopt
keep that in there, yeah.
Right.
The proof of ownership,
600 feet.
because they're gonna have to go through chapter 91 anyway.
Right.
They're not gonna be able to do it under local.
That's what you
Right.
feel, the 600 feet
And-
is the way over.
Right,
Didn't they
That's
do a chapter 91? Did they? try to?
they submitted a chapter 91. They came back and said, you don't own the land.
So their hands are kind of tied.
And
I
so
would
you gotta
send it
do this, this, and this to get it approved. They didn't do it, so therefore the state rejected it.
I mean, that would be part of the letter. just
So they're in
that
limbo.
Proof of ownership. You know,
That's the
as
same with
addition,
state.
Well,
you can't put a dock on
Right.
land you don't own.
there's nothing in the deed that suggests that the adjacent land across can be used to put a dock. Sometimes that's written into a deed.
The town's taxing them as if they own.
No, nobody has,
right,
Well.
some people have
lakefront-
access rights, but nobody has dock rights to, except for the towpath people. And that's different, totally separate.
Is it? Oh, okay. Just these
That's
guys here?
because they went to.
Just the
court
towpath,
or
they went to
something?
court when they put in that subdivision, and somehow they grabbed that piece of land, I don't know how
Okay,
that
well,
happened,
that's-
but
so-
it's
so it
a
is
long
a-
story. behind
It's
that.
distinct then.
Here's a question, since they're being taxed for that land as it's their own anyway, can we make a local bylaw? Can we present a local bylaw that becomes their property?
As far
It's a
as the
simple thing, the
LPP.
derelict
As
roads,
far as the LPP goes,
you're just derelict
can we
roads, they
present
just,
that?
because they don't own that property, it's on the map, it's not theirs, it's not.
I know, but can we propose that as a bylaw to say that as far as LPP is concerned?
I think it already says in the bylaw, you have to own the land and, or get permission from the
But I'm
landowner.
saying to make an amendment to the.
is it open to public?
For Lily Way.
Well, that's for all properties,
Yeah, that's,
Absorbed into
any
these
property.
people's-
But I'm saying to get rid of Lily Way for our purposes.
We can't do that, that's.
Well, that's what I'm asking. That's what my question was.
If we could have done that, we would have done it a long time ago. The landowner has to do that, they have to claim that land as theirs.
So every individual landowner would have
After,
to go, so every single person that
And-
Lily Way is on. would have to-
and some people have done, at least one person has done that so far, and they took it off the map and they own that property now. It's been going on for a long time, and we're pushing people in Connecticut to do it, and we really can't tell them to do it, and not do it
I
ourselves.
can't believe the town can't resolve it, I know.
It's like a
I know
right of
it's
way,
like the
it's-
end of it, But you think that like,
nobody owns it.
I don't know,
It's
just-
not private developers
just
that
there.
have the road in.
yeah,
and-
but now it's all
Certainly
public
people
though, like everything
large
around it,
now.
really, it's not like it's.
Right, but it really behooves the person that's using the land there to claim it as theirs, you know, they have been using it,
Yes,
it hasn't been a
squatters,
road.
squatters' rights. Been doing it for 50 years. you
People
know.
probably, I don't know, if it shouldn't add anything to the taxes, maybe it would, I don't know,
Well,
they already
you
get
know, what I'm saying,
charged
they're
for
already
water.
taxing them.
That's the key.
For waterfront
Well, they're
property.
getting taxed as waterfront property, it doesn't mean they're getting taxed on that piece of property.
No,
means
as far as
that
square footage goes, you mean?
You're on the waterfront, you have a view of the waterfront.
Right, because their property line doesn't go all the way up, so they can't.
But yeah, I mean, I'd be
Um,
happy to send these letters out as long as you add, show proof of.
Well, then you got all to the letter saying they can't have a dock unless they.
Correct.
Well, they can have a dock, I mean, you're saying it right there anyway, they
No,
can't,
we're saying that they can't have one that's greater than 600 square feet.
right.
That's what the letter says.
Mhm.
But now you're saying unless they own the land, they can't have a dock.
Well, that's the rule,
That's the
Right.
difference.
that's the rule.
Opening a can of worms here.
Well, it's like the guy, in Connecticut, at the end of, what's the street I'm thinking of?
Holiday.
Holiday. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we offered him a solution that he could. If he joined the association up there, he could have his dock in there next year. Okay, we're basically saying that all these docks, there will be no docks on off of Lily Drive next year. That's what
well,
we're,
we wouldn't be able to issue a local permit for them. That's for
But these
sure,
are permanent docks.
Yeah.
These are permanent docks.
right. So we couldn't issue a permit for it, we'd have to go through chapter 91.
And then all
So
the
what will happen?
restrictions,
Nothing will happen.
all the restrictions thereof.
Does it belong to the town?
No,
I own it.
You own.
Yes, give him permission.
He claimed it.
Flag on there.
Somebody flag that property tomorrow.
Do a vote. Way.
Quit claim
And
deed
say,
on a
"I
piece of
claim this
property
so
and
bad."
nobody objects
There you
to
go.
it. You own it.
That's crazy. I'm sorry.
I'm surprised nobody's,
I don't want that headache.
I'm surprised nobody's done that.
well, there's people, not on the lake, because people have done it up on Whitewood, that was a
Hmm.
quick claim deed. He just
Where is that?
said it, nobody owned it, he grabbed it, and nobody objected to it.
Wow.
It could be yours. You could open a wash
You just have a bunch of rowdy neighbors to deal with.
I hereby claim the co.
Yeah, like Dennis said, I think the letters are correct, except for,
Establishment of ownership.
Yeah.
True.
there's anything wrong with the letters at all.
Norm is just basically, we're just looking to have them at least be within regulation and size of whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proof of
Yeah,
I mean,
ownership.
that's
They're not gonna tear those docks out.
reasonable, you know?
No,
Well, we're basically telling them they have to.
Yeah.
It's not out by the, the letter says May 15th, I believe.
Well, if they tear them out, wouldn't they need a permit to tear them out?
Yeah.
Well,
So-
they didn't get a permit to put them in.
Yeah.
How long have they been in though?
Before
they-
2010.
Before the Wetlands Protection Act, probably.
Right,
Though, really?
yeah,
They've been in there a long
they've
time.
been there for a very long time.
They've been in there about a decade, I believe.
I think longer. I mean, I don't live on the lake, but I feel like as long as I've ever gone on the lake, I've always seen them.
I've been going by there for a long time. They've been there.
That's your, I mean, you're
At least,
opening up a
20
can
years.
of worms, one
So
way or
is
the
that
other with
a
this.
pre-existing non-conforming thing?
Big can of worms.
And also a good part of the square footage of those docks is the canopy.
Yeah.
If we tell Miss Despard, would you just take the canopy off to put, do you think she would be in compliance from there?
I'd have to go back and,
Very nice canopy, but.
I agree. They've been there a
looking
long
for-
time.
If we're looking for compliance,
I'd say at least 20 years. I mean, ever since I've been going.
Every time you go around the corner, there they are.
I mean, almost since I've.
I think we should table the letter for now until we get some legal
Yes.
yeah,
opinion.
it's fun.
That's like-
And we want to administer the LPP,
Yeah.
but this is kind of a gray area, I
Yeah.
think.
Let's get some legal advice on this before we send anything out. The lawyers are gonna get involved with it one way or the other.
Especially when you tell people you can't have something, they, you know. You'd rather have a lawyer tell them they can't have something.
Okay. What about the other one, the Marshalls? 119 North Lake.
You got on the agenda?
This is,
well, the docks belong to 129, but they're on
Okay.
Harris property.
Also, this is for the same,
Okay,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Both the same.
You gotta hold them both. If you hold one, you can't
Right,
hold the
right.
other.
so we'll,
But the wording is excellent.
yeah, it's very well written.
So.
And I said good to the letter, because I wanted all three names, that's all, because we all administer.
their names meaning lake management and.
Correct.
Harbor master.
Just that like what to do here.
So we're gonna go to, get permission to go to the town legal.
Town council.
Town council, yeah.
Yeah, because we say we're gonna fine them, we're gonna have to fine them, and then if that's not legal, we're gonna be in trouble, so.
Can you make that contact
All right.
for us?
Yeah, I can email or contact Nicole.
Yeah,
So what is the question that we want to ask?
Review ownership.
Bring up the whole thing about the, the docks and the Lily Way, what best way to handle
We're
it.
trying to
and have them look at the
administer
letter.
LPP. And part of the LPP says that you need ownership to put a dock in. And the ownership of these areas are in a gray area.
Okay.
And therefore, by How should we, how can we proceed?
Okay.
That's,
This is just asking a question, since we grant hardships because the docks aren't removable, can we grant a hardship? Because the square footage exceeds what it's supposed to, because it'd be more of a detriment to remove than removing what's there, like, that's what we said. We're telling them they can't have it, but all right, well, how, just take it out?
that's not in the hardship right now.
I'm just asking the question,
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
asking the question, I don't know.
I see there's a couple
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I
been
was
there.
thinking along the same lines, because I don't see how those are gonna get taken out.
And it's been there for,
what I'm
like,
saying.
we
Long
said,
time.
for how
Long
long, was it pre,
Can the hardship also extend to the ownership of the property?
I'm just asking the question.
Yeah.
It's not, we
No, I
have
mean, it's a good
three
question.
criteria for hardship, and those aren't in there.
One of them is can't remove it easily, and yeah.
Not feasible to remove,
Right.
it's been there previous to a certain date. And it's not a hazard. You know, so those are the hardships right now. We don't have one for handicap accessible. We're talking about
Not yet.
adding that.
That one thing Diane sent out. I think. For review.
Yeah.
She moved.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Where, where are we at?
Okay, we are moving down to request for certificate of compliance, 3 South Loomis.
I just wrote up a letter. I think I sent it to you and Norm to review, so. Oh, and they wanted, there was question on whether to reduce the bond amount, but they decided not to move forward with that because. Well, originally they put a cash bond, so he wanted his money. And so he's switching cash bond with surety bond, and so he's in the process with the treasurer right now. So, yeah, I guess. If and when you guys say I could send that out, I can just send it the letter to them about not issuing the certificate of compliance and how that's been tabled. And then I could strike that off and we'll see them again in 2 years.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, 56 Sunnyside Road, possible unpermitted work and alteration to a resource area.
I haven't gotten any contact from them. I don't know why. I can send out another letter, a more. You know what? I'll send out a letter that has
certified, or
a certified letter, so I know. Cause I feel like they're not getting the letter,
Okay,
so I'll send a certified.
I went over there and I was confused on the address and I saw a culvert on the left side that got put in. Was that, I was like, I don't remember ever talking about that. It was like a culvert into the pond on that private. That shared driveway. And you go on the sunny side on the left, there's like 5 houses on the left.
I
And
saw
they
it
have on
too.
a pond. And they have a shared driveway. And at the end of the shared driveway, the north end, they dug a culvert like right into the pond.
I saw it too.
We're talking about the right-hand side
On
of
the
the side.
I know what
Right,
you're talking
The
about.
56 is on the right,
yeah,
but when I went up there to look at 56, the
You said this is
excavator was
recent?
there and. Like they dug a culvert right into the pond.
that's the subdivision, right, the ranch?
Yes, that
Yeah.
little
Where's
private, the
Sunnyside?
shared
Yeah.
driveway on the left. And all the houses are like right on the pond.
Hmm.
And
I'm
then,
here, right?
You got our map?
yeah, and I'm like,
So where are you talking?
here somewhere.
so. That's what it used to look like, and then they put a culvert in. Like right into the pond.
Wait, what? Can I hold your phone?
It's slightly different angles. That's the Google map. That's what Google Maps
I was like,
showed.
how'd you get it before? How do you know they're gonna do
Yeah,
this?
that's Google Maps had it,
Google Maps.
and then they just put it like,
So someone did leave a voicemail saying that there is something going on. They're digging up or digging near a resource area. And I drove by. And I didn't see anything.
Well, that, what,
What's the address?
I honestly don't know.
It looks
I
like
looked-
52 Sunnyside.
originally
No,
that
it's on
was not supposed to be a pond, that was supposed to be a detention pond, part of the subdivision. And it never got written into the order of conditions. So is kind of jurisdictional.
This is across from the old golf course, right?
It's next,
No.
It is a golf course. It's the private drive that goes
The
off.
ranch golf course.
Yeah.
It's at the very
goal number
beginning,
one.
very beginning of Sunnyside.
Right.
52. 52. Let's look at it.
Yeah, it's not, it's gonna be the odd side of the road, because 56 is up on the right, so it's gonna be the odd side. And they don't,
So
it's that little shared driveway.
a shared.
Yeah,
driveway.
right, that's it. That's
Where's
it.
the shared driveway?
There's about 4 houses in here,
4 houses on that
and then
driveway.
the other side is a pond.
That's the
Yeah.
shared driveway that comes along the
And-
road.
That's Sunnyside Road. Oh,
Says
right
Sunnyside,
next to
that's-
it. Oh,
It's parallel to
They got rid of these bushes, and they
Okay.
dug a trench right down to the pond.
Into the pond.
Yeah,
so
What?
let the water go.
right here?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you
So
put
maybe-
that up on the?
Yeah,
Oh,
let me
wow.
try to
So there's
share
the
my
Google Maps, they
screen.
screenshotted that. So if you look at that corner, and that, like the edge of the grass right there, so there's the edge of the grass.
No,
and
there's no
that
grass.
corner. Right, and they took out all those big bushes and they put that.
Wow, look at that.
Andy,
Okay.
Point it out on the.
is it where,
screen.
is it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they dug this.
The whole way.
That must be what someone called me about.
That's not the one I was
Yeah.
thinking. of. Okay.
All right,
Is that part of the? John, if he knows anything about that, if that
Oh
was part of
my,
the plan.
yeah, that's quite, that's all trap rock. Huh?
So
What,
see
is it a
the
waterfall?
edge of the grass
I
right
know,
there,
right, why would
Yeah.
they do that?
go back to the.
I only remember driving over the hill when I lived that way.
That's Google Maps, there's the edge
In
of
that
the,
section, no.
Yeah, that's
Further
right.
down,
That's where it
yeah.
ended, yeah.
right. There's the edge of the
Over at-
grass, so this whole
John,
clump of stuff in here is
Something
gone,
like that.
and they just, it's. Goes right down into the.
and then who did it?
To that point.
Right into the wetland. Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I didn't see that one, but I see it now.
Definitely,
Was talking about before, like, I
Go
know,
by us.
you guys were here
Right.
before me, like, did they talk about this
So
3
that's a
years ago?
violation before.
Now they're doing it?
They were talking about being 200 feet, but from the riverfront.
Yeah, they're gonna
Because
argue
that's
that.
right.
That looks like it's on-
And in all those tangly bushes
Blah,
that
blah,
were
blah.
there
that's
Those are
open,
the things
I
that
think
were
that's
going
open
on back
space right
then.
there.
Yeah.
before they started even digging.
But at the ranch,
And
is Sunnyside
nothing
Ranch
like
is
it.
part of
the-
okay.
so the
No one said do that.
So Sabrina will go out and check on that. We'll get back to the meeting now.
Yep.
We'll go back to,
On the 18th. Maybe.
update on 13, North Pond. Dead tree conservation property.
Dead tree
Alright.
conservation property. I wanted to clarify a couple of things and I sent it off to Nicole. For commenting.
Mhm.
I wanna make sure I'm correct. Before, cause I feel like this is.
There was something else, because we had sort of talked about that, I remember, and
It. So the process is the same, it's just. I don't know. Financially, who's responsible for removing the tree, and I wanna be sure
okay.
that
We know
Cause
it's
I
a
know-
we know it's a hazard.
it's a
We- yeah,
hazard,
right.
it's on town property.
Yep.
The state owns the CR. The state had said it's the neighbor's responsibility financially to do it. But I'm not 100% sure, and so I sent it off to Nicole. To see if she had,
We've
It's-
always had the neighbor responsibilities. A lot of people
Right.
come in and say that,
yeah,
you know, it's put too much shade on their garage and it's rotting the roof out, or, you know,
Mhm.
Well, that's
people
what-
are always trying to get the town to pay for it.
I get that, but.
Yeah,
I
This
would
thing's
assume
just
that would
dead
be
hanging there.
Tree limbs, that are hanging over onto the property. It's the homeowner's responsibility to cut the tree limbs if they feel like, they're detrimental to their property. So long as they don't kill the tree. However, this tree is dead. The tree that's on the conservation property, it's dead.
Hmm.
So if so in my mind, it could possibly be a hazard that we know about.
What did Randy say?
Randy and I, we looked at it last year and it was in the process of dying, but it wasn't leaning anywhere. So at the time, it wasn't a hazard. And I don't know if it's a hazard right now, but I want to make sure. I want to make sure the letter's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, update on 13 Berkshire land donation.
You know, I feel like there is an update, but I didn't check all my emails
I
yet.
read that I thought online it said the money for the survey was approved.
It was.
Awesome.
I'm not crazy.
Remember, because the problem with the billing,
They
they
build,
billed, the attorney was supposed to
Right.
bill us, so the attorney's supposed to change the billing.
okay,
mm,
yep, so it needs to be, yeah,
The surveyors. We have to be surveyors, and they're not vendors. So we have to get their information, or attorneys needs to change the invoice to their name. So
Okay.
the attorneys and attorney deals with the attorney.
so accounting issues.
So in theory, it's approved.
There, it's approved, we just
Mhm.
have
We
to work
did-
out the kinks.
Yeah, we did receive the approval, but
Okay.
we don't know who we have to pay now.
So do read that crap you said, that stuff you told.
Crap,
Okay.
and you said it, it's recorded, no going back.
All right, proposed amendments to the local permitting program. Request select board chief harbor master Diane Gale to move this forward in it. Motion on that.
Nothing.
No update,
No.
Okay, report from Suffield.
no update.
Noble Steep subdivision, we heard from Jeff. Nothing on LPP norm either, or the conservation.
Nothing on Suffield Concom.
Now, I go by Babs Road all the time. They're excavating the wetlands. At the farm there across the street. From that,
From Holiday?
yeah. I'm wondering how they do that. Is that different in Connecticut? They could just,
That's the one that runs into the lakes, isn't it?
There is one that one.
you think so?
Connecticut's got their own set of rules, huh?
Yeah, they got big excavators in there. They're digging everything out of it.
Hopefully nothing
Go
goes, hopefully nothing goes. in.
All the trees are out. There were some dead trees in there where the herons used to nest and things.
Where is this? Is that over by the tree?
Tree farm.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering how, if that was on any of their agendas or,
It hasn't been.
I'm just
but I will-
curious.
I'll do a drive by there and.
Yeah, it's
Let Pete know.
like the,
Okay.
like the job site. Hey, public at Platte wetland violation, 31 Sam West Road.
We need a letter from Ryan, don't we?
A letter from somebody, yeah. I don't think it specifies. Letter from somebody just to get this thing closed out.
Who is the one that you talked to?
Alexac.
Could they
What's
just
Alexac?
write us? No, it needs to be someone else, right? Or could they just write us a
They
letter?
could just, well, his son could, kind of did the work.
I don't know if I have his son's email. Or contact,
I'll swing by there again.
okay. Oh, I just need that. That's all. I need. Let us strike this off.
We have one letter in the mail. From the VFW Post 872, American Legion Post 338, Zoom of concern, VFW Post 872 and American Legion Post 338 would like to invite you to participate in the Veterans Day Parade on 11 November 2024. The parade will gather between 10:15 and 10:30 in the parking lot across from the Summer House at 535 College Highway, Southwick, Mass. The parade will proceed at 11 o'clock down to the town green at the War Memorial. We'd be honored if you and your group could join us in remembering our country's military servicemen and women who have lost their lives serving the country. At the conclusion of the service, there will be a brief gathering at the American Legion for participants and their families. Please RSVP as soon as possible. Sincerely, Darcy L. Rock and Ryan Detert.
I'm gonna be in Missoula.
I'm gonna be in Key West.
I can't go.
Anybody else wanna go? I think it would be nice if somebody,
It would be. I'm not gonna be here. otherwise I
Typically in May.
I wear my town jacket and my cap,
right? There you go.
carry a banner saying "Hong Kong" something. And watch for
Piece
it.
of cardboard with.
Okay.
P.S. We need more funding.
Yeah, right. Needs more funding. That'll be the flop out.
Right.
Donation bucket hanging out your back.
Carry a bucket in my back.
Donate your-
Cattails sticking out of it.
Okay, well,
Looking for motion,
yes, sir.
make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Andy, I?
But
Chris, I.
Nor I.
Have an eye.
Jerry, I.